Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of Little Squid League 20. My name is Pak, and I'm here with my good friend Devi, and we will be starting you all off with a couple of rounds in a super stacked top cut. Devi, how are you feeling today?
Oh, I'm pretty good here. We got some two familiar team names going head to head in this first round one. I'm commentating with you today. There's a lot of hype, so we got Cake versus Cumbers.
It's a great day to be watching LSL over here. Listen, the weather is warm. There's a nice breeze, but rain or shine, I was going to be here with drinks and snacks and ready to watch great gameplay from these teams. And you guys should too, because this is an LSL that you will not want to miss.
Hopefully you got everything you need to watch all this action, because it's not going to disappoint. Taking a look at the maps as we go into winners round 1 here, we're starting off with Splat Zone's Wahoo World. I don't know about you, Pak, but as a long-range favored person myself, range can definitely have some dominance on this map.
This is actually one of my favorite Splat Zones maps as a support player, and having such a small zone, it's so easy to just paint over and recap the zone. There's so many interesting plays that can come out of here, especially the flanks on glass that always kind of throws the other team in for a loop. And as you said, long range works really well. And here looks like we're just going to start right here. Splat Zone's Wahoo World, Cake versus Cumbers. Let's see what they got.
All right, I've been seeing more and more dynamos come out on this map just to control the ledge, and it's amazing. Like, usually, like, a lot of people will think the dynamo will get stuck, but really, it's got so much power behind this ledge, and I love to see it come out. It's just got to really be careful of when the pro and the squeezer from the opposing side comes around and tries to peek it. But right now, we see Cumbers with the early cap. However, it's still pretty neutral play as missiles come out. It's going to be back and forth. The dynamo does get caught out in those missiles, I believe. So now it's just kind of 3v4. They're holding mid the best they can, just not giving up so much turf. But right now, it's still looking pretty neutral. Bubbles coming out as well.
Cake is applying a lot of pressure here onto their plat with bombs and bubbles. As you see, it's a little bit hard for them to push back onto their plat because of how much space that they have over there. They're going to be coming through with an armor and try and do a counter push here for zone, but we see missiles come out on the side of Cake, so it's still a little bit of a fight back to their plat to get to mid.
Oh, the back-to-back booyah, that what does catch one member of Cumbers off in the corner, but it does help neutralize the dynamo and the zap. You're trying to paint the zone the best they can. They got one pick off that ledge. That is big. This should be capped for them, as 3 members of Cake are just kind of hiding in the corner here, and Cumbers are now able to move in, maybe try to keep them off of the zone for a little bit, as they do have this next booyah ready, but they have to watch out for these squeezers bubbles.
And now Cucumber is giving Cake a little bit of their own medicine, right? Trying to get them pushed back, but it looks like Cake is using those missiles again to put them in the same place that they were not too long ago. Cake capping the zone here and just trying to secure that plat.
Oh, Cumbers there. They were missiled and everything, but still going forward on the missiles, knowing the timing and catching the one out. And now the specials are countering, and Cumbers putting up a great show against Cake here, looking to see if they can come back down after that first push that they let happen there. Now it's their turn to try to secure some lockout and keep Cake out. However, they're playing more cautious around the zone, so Cake does have more chances to come back in and neutralize. However, Fluffy here is just going right on in. However, does get one pick at least, but going down in the end.
There's still 2 down on the side of Cake, now 3, and it looks like it's just the K-Pro right there on their plat, trying to get some support from their team here. They have a booyah online, so they might be very close to setting up a counter push.
Yeah, this counter push has got to be going. A booyah thrown, so this booyah now from the dynamo isn't there to counter this push that's about to come from Cake. Cumbers are going to be a bit stuck here, as cap does easily happen for Cake.
Cumbers is going to have a bit of a penalty to work through, as they went just down to 9 ticks and Cake was able to cap it at the last second.
Nice trade there that was happening in the corner. It looks like the H3 looking to try to get a little turf. They do have missiles at the ready here, just waiting for their teammates to be ready for this push. They do have Booyah Bomb as well online, plus the Inkjet. They're just looking for that way in around, but look at how Cake is positioned. They got missiled here. They were holding corners really nicely. Now the Inkjet coming out, looks like one is stuck in the corner on the left there, but one member of Sea Cucumbers on the zone looking to try to cap it. They do get the cap, putting that penalty back on Cake. Nice push back in by Sea Cucumbers.
Cake capped it again. Look at how back and forth this is going. Everyone is in so many different places just trying to make sure that they keep that zone for themselves.
We're coming down to, there isn't going to be too much time left because both counters on the scoreboard aren't too high, except for that one penalty that Sea Cucumbers has. But there is just a minute left here, and now they really have to cap the zone, which they just did. So good job to Sea Cucumbers to keep these penalties still going here.
It looks like that K-Pro on the side of Cake got picked off, and the juniors, so Sea Cucumbers is going to start pushing up again, and it looks like they're just coming out of spawn, getting pushed back just a little bit. Will Sea Cucumbers be able to hold this zone and get the win?
With 40 seconds left remaining, Sea Cucumbers do have two specials online along with Cake, and it looks like they're being fired from both sides. All that's missing is those bubbles, but those bubbles now make an appearance on zone. Cap does happen. The Dynamo is the only one that falls down, but this looks pretty good for Cake as their push came in handy here. Is the only thing to counter right now is this Inkjet, and it's being contested on the side here by this K-Shot.
As K-Shot's pushing very far up onto the left, just trying to be the distraction that Cake needs so that they can keep the zone and possibly get a win in overtime. We see a Booyah coming out from Sea Cucumbers.
Fleeing
the zone.
Oh my goodness, right at the end there, that final fight brought it down to the all. Just that misplay on the counters there really allowed Cake to come in and take control there. And then as they were trying to special again, you can see the K-Shot going in, putting in some nice work there, keeping the zap away from the zone so the primary painter is gone. Can't shred the Booyah, but they did try to splat the Inkjet, but the Dynamo managed to get the splat afterwards. But what a push from Cake at the end there, just to seal the deal.
And it was very close, very back and forth throughout the entire game. But that little extra work that Cake put in that last push is what sealed the deal, and they were able to get a lead in overtime. Well done to Cake.
Absolutely. And now with LSL also comes counter picks. So we saw that both these teams, none of them ran any traditional backline. They kind of had their mid range, they had the front lines, and they were pretty even here on this zones match, countering each other until the very end where they both specialed at the same time. Where the ones that actually got the picks were going to be the one in the head here. So I could see a Splat Zones come back out again, potentially. As for map, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think the comp that Sea Cucumbers ran can be used on a number of maps and modes. So it's a bit hard for me to say what they will counterpick with. It looks like we're going to be playing on Tower Control Inkblot. Very interesting map, very snowball heavy if they do play their cards right.
If this Dynamo comes back here, it's going to be really key to make sure that they don't get stuck in corners here, but also Cake will really want to make sure that it doesn't get a lot of control, because even though when the Dynamo gets up on stacks there or up below, it can help protect so many areas on the Inkblot. It's just a lot of times it's not given the chance to. A lot of teams know how to push it back, but now it's up to Sea Cucumbers to be that strong forward line to able to help that Dynamo move up and be the pressure it needs, because that Dynamo can be deadly.
And special coordination is so key on a map like Tower Control Inkblot. We were able to see great special coordination from both teams, but if Sea Cucumbers really wants to take this win, they are really going to have to coordinate their specials well at checkpoints. Pair armor with the missiles or armor with bubbles, whatever they may need, they just need to make sure that they time it correctly so that they can get onto their plat and secure the lockout that they need.
And we saw that both these teams, they were using their specials really well against each other. It's just now the timing of it and making sure, like, when they pop them, because at the very end there was the clash in specials from both teams instead of waiting for one and then firing, because they were doing back and forth specials throughout the entire game basically on splat zones. And it was just that one moment where they were both specials just clashed with each other that made the difference. But here we go, we're finally going into the map here. I'm looking forward to see these comps, whether they're going to be somewhat similar or if they're going to change it up a bit. Soda Slosher is making an appearance here along with the Rapid Deco and the good old C-Jet.
Rapid Deco is a very interesting pick. I believe that is the Rapid with armor, correct? So we are seeing two armors on the side of Sea Cucumbers. Very interesting pick.
However, the Rapid has a really nice time on this map, especially when it wants to control down below. So as long as it has the front line to allow it to pinch with these shots, the Rapid can be very threatening. However, Cake with the early 2 picks here on Sea Cucumbers, now looking to already move up here. We can see a member already trying to get on top, but the Rapid Blaster is in the way, keeping it behind. Tower is just trying to move here, but the C-Jet's already back in from its ray. Booyah Bomb coming out, clearing the plat. Does get a pick. It gets the end zap, so the primary painter for the other two has gone down, but the other members of Sea Cucumbers are in some nice defending positions right now. But then the C-Jet goes down.
Sea Cucumbers is trying very hard to keep control of their plat with all of the specials, the bombs from the Soda Slosher and these missiles. They keep getting pushed back, and Cake is about to clear this second checkpoint here. But it looks like 2 went down, so Sea Cucumbers has a chance to bring themselves back to mid and start their counter push.
As Sea Cucumbers there, it almost looked really tight, but they managed to get only one person down, or like one person left, and managed to get them to jump out. And just even from before earlier, we got a quick view of this Rapid's view earlier, and you can see just how much zoning pressure this Rapid actually has, and that is a very unfortunate moment with the with the missiles coming down on the ray, and the Rapid here now looking to be that extra backline when the C-Jet does go down or goes raised. This Soda Slusher here in a nice position, has Bomb Rush at the ready, just kind of spectator cam there, but we got to fight at window. Armor's out. It looks like nice movement here by the K-Shot as they're just trying to go back and forth here, just literally just back and forth, waiting for that opportunity to move in. Finally gets the pick.
That was the longest 1v1 I have seen in a long time. But the K-Shot was doing a great job skirmishing and just causing a distraction so that they could keep moving the tower forward, and that's exactly what they're doing. Droid is coming out with a ray, hoping to stop that tower at the 3rd checkpoint, but the K-Shot picks off the ray at their spawn. What was that?
However, we have a Soda Slosher DC. So I believe they stopped going. However, the points were back. I can't remember what the DC rules here. I believe they have to keep going if these are standard DC rules.
And it looks like they're still playing. Both sides are still playing, so they might just be playing this through regardless. We'll see.
I believe they have to anyway, so it's going to be a tough 3v4. However, they do have a nice lead, so as long as this team can stay coordinated and not push in too far without getting themselves caught out, they do have a very high chance of successfully defending this.
You're right, Debbie. All they really need to do is just hold mid and hold their plat, just bomb them out, try not to rush into fights when they need to, and if they just keep going the safe route, they might be able to still win even if they're down one person.
Like right now, you can see that they know where this range is from the C-Jet and the Range Blaster, and they are just keeping back the best they can, but the Stingray does pick one, and it looks like now it's just the two left, but the K-Shot's in a nice spot here just to kind of stall, so the two are trying to pick it off. They're using their corners really nicely as the K-Shot does opt to go back. I like how they're keeping just enough paint control from themselves. It's actually the Zap that's up and forward. I thought it was a K-Shot. Now they're trying to 2v1 the corners here. I love the movement that that Cake is doing right now to stall this out as much as possible. Like, they have 40 seconds left. They just popped 2 armors off the tower. They got a pick in the side. Cake doing a really good job here working as a team. However, one does go down. This Zap really needs this pick, but they don't. All right. CQ Cumbers finally in control.
K-Shot right now, and they're not very close to missiles, so they don't have anything that can stop them at their plat. They're trying to bomb out their plat right now, just trying everything they can to make sure that they don't get that lead. We have about 60 ticks left, and they're going to go into the second checkpoint. Will they be able to stop them? And it looks like they're 3 down again. There are missiles online for the K-Shot. They're going into overtime, almost at 20. Will these missiles be able to stop them? 3
There's
down.
only one person left. It's up. This ends up to try to make something done, but there's armor, and all 4 just do go in. It was right at the end where the solid 3 wall that was looking so strong in the corner just kind of started to go back in one by one, and CQ Cumbers just able to take that.
I think CQ Cumbers knew that they had to do a little bit of the waiting game with Cake and then do that last final push just to kind of throw them off a little bit and secure that lead. Either way, very well done for Cake for being able to hold mid and just be able to control the map as long as they did, even though they were down 1 person.
Like, they were doing really well, and the weapons that they had there in the 3v4 were doing really well, just getting pressure along the sides there. They had cover with the stack like around that first checkpoint area, so they were looking really dominant there, taking 2v1s and kind of leading the members of Cake into a corner and all that. They were playing well against the range. They weren't going too far into it. But it was just at the very end, yeah, when Cake finally took that opportunity, like you said, and then they finally caused the stagger, and Cake was able to take advantage of that advantage.
And that DC definitely mattered because it looks like we are 1-1. Cake winning the first game, CQ Cumbers winning the second. Now it looks like we're going to play Blackbelly Rainmaker for the last match in this set.
Oh, good old Blackbelly Rainmaker. For those who know me knows that this is definitely not my favorite map mode. But there's still some pretty great moments that happen on here anyway. We did see the C-Jet and the Rapid come out. I am pretty positive the C-Jet's going to make an appearance here. But this Rapid as well can do a lot of zoning pressure in the middle, but I'm not too sure if they're going to stick with the Rapid or if they're going to bring something else back out again.
Now, as a support player, I can tell you that Blackbelly Rainmaker can be really fun because there is so much movement that you can do while pushing with the Rainmaker, so long as your team is pushing up with you. But there are definitely things that the other team can do that can really hold you back and make it frustrating, such as the Ray and how well it works on this map, and missiles, and just how easy it is to be able to split up and pincer the team that's pushing. So there's going to be a lot of really interesting plays that are going to come out of this map, I think.
And I've seen so many different special combos that you can use on this map between mid-range, all front lines. There's definitely different strategies that you can do, and with the comps that we see here, there's a lot of pinching opportunity. We see CQ Cumbers is more of the zoning out kind of pressure, while Cake is the pinch opportunity. Okay, so the Rapid is coming out from both sides. However, one is a pro and one is a normal one.
And there's that Ray that you see on the side of CQ Cumbers. C-Jet is a very classic pick on this map. We have an Object Shredder K-Gal, which is a very, very interesting. That's not something that I normally see when I play, so it'll be really cool to see how that goes. It looks like Low Iron, the K-Gal, is trying to push up into mid a little bit, using that wall to their advantage. We see missiles coming out on the side of Cake so they can get that early push in.
It's still looking neutral. There was one coming in from the side. It looks like a pick does go down, or happens for Cake on one side, but that's rapid getting.
Oh
I believe
goodness.
that was double direct there for what they needed, and that was just beautiful.
They're pushing the Rainmaker to the right, but they're getting stopped by bombs, and they got picked just as they were about to push forward. Sea Cucumbers popping it with an armor, an array, and an inkjet, all being popped at the same time, trying to take mid control. They see one here on the left trying to skirmish and distract them, but that didn't do much. They're going to opt to take it left and try and get a lead through here.
I noticed that a lot of the specials from Sea Cucumbers were coming out really early there, meanwhile just leaving the jet towards the end to try to help the Rainmaker push. And meanwhile, Cake had a couple others, but there's two down on the side of Cake. If they can just keep this K-Gal out of play here, this Rainmaker can just swim up really nicely. But this Booyah Bomb coming out, are they going to shred it? They do shred it, but the Booyah Bomb does come up successfully. And now the members of Sea Cucumbers are moving up. That is lead for Sea Cucumbers. That's 3 down. Sea Cucumbers taking control here. The Rainmaker here, that's a double. Is the Rapid going to go down on the side? Sea Cucumbers moving up really nicely. This could be a KO right here, right now. That is a wipe. That is Sea Cucumbers. What a push.
That was insane. Well done to Sea Cucumbers for being able to stay on the left that long and be able to just hold it out, time their specials correctly, and get the picks that they needed. What an amazing play.
I think Sea Cucumber still opted to take that route just to try to see if that jet was going to get Ray, but then again, I can't remember who picked up the Rainmaker at the end. But some teams, when they know that they have the right stuff and realize who's where, they can pull off a pinch there, and they will take that left side, not afraid of how much space there actually is. They are confident that they can push that side and just roll on out. So that was just fantastic play by Sea Cucumbers, and Cake there just kind of getting stuck in the corner. I didn't see what happened on the one side because we saw 2 go down, then to 3, and then it was a stagger, then they had a wipe, and I'm not too sure what fully happened there, but Sea Cucumbers, bravo to that final push.
Well, and their pincering power was amazing as they were pushing left. You could see that the Sea-Jet was behind the Rainmaker, trying to guard it, make sure that there weren't any flanks, and we also had someone else on the side of Sea Cucumbers pushing up into mid, just making sure that they get the pressure that they need from mid so that the Rainmaker can push around. It was so well coordinated and so impressive.
Even so, still Cake also putting up a good showing there. They did beat the one counter on Splat Zones, as we saw, getting the win there. And then they had that unfortunate DC on Inkblot Tower because they were looking really strong on Inkblot Tower, and it just came down to the wire there where they just got a little bit discoordinated and then ended up falling out on the 3v4. So bravo to both teams. So good job to Sea Cucumbers taking the set 2-1, and we will be back shortly for round 2. All right, everyone, and welcome back to Little Squid League number 20. I am Debbie, joined here by Pock, and we are here to bring winners round 2 for you. And we've got Boston Squid Party versus Splatalot A.
These are 2 really established teams. They have been making a lot of waves in the low-level scene. So I'm very, very excited to see these 2 play.
You were trying to predict a few things earlier, Pock, and I could hear that you were ready to cast this set when it was ready to go. So, Pox definitely got the hype here for this. The chat should have the hype here as well, and of course so do I. I have, even though I'm not showing it right now in chat, but all the pom-poms are given right now. All of them. And we're starting on Splat Zone's Anchovy Games immediately right here. We're not even going to give kind of a discussion about the map. We're just going to go right in. All right, so this looks pretty cool. We got a majority more aggressive comp coming out from Splatalot A, but Boston Squid Party does have a Tetris and a Tri-Slosher to combat that and take off angles of their own, just being backed up by this Junior and a V-Jet.
We're seeing some weapons here that I think are pretty typical for both teams. I know Dory is basically their primary support player, plays Junior a lot, and Elia on Splatalot A plays a lot of Tri-Slosher. So these were some weapons that I had expected to see on both sides of the team. It looks like Boston Squid Party is getting this first cap, using missiles to push Splatalot A back onto their plat. Caleb getting a flash down on Plum. That's huge.
Look at this one Tri-Slosher from Sherbert here, just going and adding pressure, does opt to back out, which is a good decision by them. Also, I would like to note that both variants of Tri-Slosher are making an appearance. See one getting a double, doing what a Tri-Slosher does best and capitalizing over ledges, under ledges. That was like what I like to call 3.5 in Splat. 3 splats, 1 assist.
Splatalot A was able to get a full wipe on Boston Squid Party. They are pushing hard up onto their arcade and their plat, but Boston Squid Party said, no, we're going to push you back with missiles and try to get this zone back.
The Tetris here looking to go in. However, they are marked by missiles. They can't quite go in. This Booyah going right on Sherbert's face. Splashdown coming in, and the Tetris are on the zone. They do get, I believe they got 2 picks there successfully. Now the members of Boston Squid Party just need to come in and help capitalize on this zone and help make the efforts that the work that the Tetris have been doing pay off, which they finally do.
Look at that, Caleb and Sherbert just moving in like clockwork.
Oh
just trying
my
to get
gosh.
off of the plat, isolating the K-Pro. The K-Pro's trying to do this last-ditch effort, Booyah, just to maybe neutralize the zone. They weren't able to do it just yet. These Tetris are still moving, finally get picked off.
Wow, the Tetris have really been going and getting some picks done, even though the first initial follow-up seemed a little bit on the slower side. They still managed to work together as a pair, but Splatalot A able to come back in right away and get their specials, but the specials are going back and forth, and both these teams, like, look at the score right now. More points should be going in Splatalot A's favor right about now, but scoreboard looking still pretty good until now that 3 are down. So this is going to be a really nice lead for Splatalot A that they're going to want to take advantage of, that they could potentially lock out as long as they read which way Boston Squid Party wants to come out.
This is huge. Splatalot A was able to work through their penalty, and now they're just trying to hold mid as best as they can. 5 ticks left. Boston Squid Party's trying to come in with an armor, but it was just a little too late.
That moment where you wish there was 2 more seconds on the clock, or even 1, and that zone was theirs. Just the splashdown and armor coming out literally a second too late. And by that time, when the zone was going to get, like, basically capped, if you look at it at the very end there from the splashdown, game over, it had already been hit, so it just does not count. But wow, what a performance by both teams, and even the KAs, like, weren't even that high. It was pure team pressure and who was gonna come out on the team fights.
That was such an intense game, and we have more coming, folks. This is a best of 5 set, so we're gonna see more crazy plays from these teams for at least a couple more games. Since Splatalot A won the first match, it is now Boston Squid Party's turn to counterpick. Are there any ideas that you have in mind as to what they might choose?
Oh my goodness. It could be anything. I'm not too sure what their strong suit is, but both of these teams were basically neck and neck for a majority of that match until Splatalot A was able to get that team fight win. So we're sticking with the same map, but we're going to tower control this time. All right.
Wow, very interesting pick. And now, since it's the same map, it's the same idea as to how they want to secure that lockout. It's really just pushing onto their arcade, pushing onto their plat, making sure that the fans are occupied while also watching yours so that you don't get flanked as well. So you're going to see somewhat similar strategies come out, since this is also Anchovy Games. But it is tower control, so there's going to be more work with special coordination and just being able to push together, all while not getting too close and fully wiped. This is going to be so interesting. I'm so excited to see this.
Oh my goodness, it will be. And I know something that Boston Squid Party was doing really well is that their Tetras were able to go in and get those picks. Just something that I hope that they do on this time here is have that more of a reaction, that once the Tetras gets those picks, it's more realized, so the follow-up can happen a bit sooner, and then they can go in and establish that lockout and hold it there a bit quicker than they did on the Splatoon's game, because of course they're going to want that mid control, but now they're really going to want those top corners, and I can see the Tetras taking that long flank route on the side there, potentially to pinch in from another angle.
Yes, those Tetras were doing exactly what Tetras were built to do, and it's skirmishing, trying to start fights, trying to distract. So it'll be great if we see more of that as well. I think we're going to see more tri-slosher work as well. It's really easy to score a good fall off with tri-slosher if you play your cards correctly. Looks like we have Junior and Tri on the side of Boston Squid Party again, and Tri K-Pro, basically the same comp from Splatalot A.
The difference here is we're going to see an appearance from a Luna coming out here, and I don't know about you, but I always like appreciating Lunas when they come out to play here, because they can be so controlling under ledges, so sneaky at times. They just have to really hope that their teammates can get some extra turf down for them to come in from these sides to put to add some pressure there.
Splatalot A made their first push just to 89, so not too far. We see a Booyah coming out from the side of Boston Squid Party as they are trying to retake mid. And it looks like the K-Pro on the side of Boston Squid Party went down. They're still armoring, though, trying to keep that, but two have gone down. One has the Booyah. That's a weird position right now. Though.
How did it go through? I guess it's from a really odd angle. It did not look like that Booyah bomb should have went through there.
I know. Oh my goodness. Splatalot A is going to try and push one more time, trying to bomb out their plat, and we see the Tri here just trying to take control, use the ledges to their advantage, and get some solid kills. They are pushed up a little too far, and they do get picked off and punished.
Even then, they couldn't even go backwards either, because there was members of Boston Squid Party all around them. So the most they could do was try to maybe strafe in to get a pick. But that is now a wipe on the side of Splatalot A, and Boston Squid Party is now finally able to come into mid here and try to add some control onto the other side. Baller is ready here for the Luna. Luna's looking for the pick. They do get the pick, but the Baller gets traded in return.
Very good trade from the Luna over there. Didn't think they were going to quite make it, but they were able to secure that pick with the Baller. It's crazy how much stuff you can do with the Baller so long as you time it correctly. And it looks like Boston Squid Party is trying to push up a little further. Plum going down.
Oh, I don't know if you saw this, but Splatalot A took the left side of their side to come out and contest the tower instead of coming in straight on. And that is something that you don't see a lot of teams do. In this case, it did cost them the lead, just a bit slow on the move in, and they couldn't get the picks on what they wanted there. But that is very rare occasions where I will see other teams do that, but I still love to see it. And even then, they still come in. They did stop the tower at 33. However, that is a very good push for Boston Squid Party to maintain.
Splatalot A is going to be moving back up again. That Tri taking the prime opportunity to just kind of hold space up in mid as they're coming out of spawn, but they do get picked off by two bombs. Insane bomb placement. I'm so proud of that.
as a backline who suffers from many splat bombs, I can tell you that it's one of those moments where you have a slow-mo play and the bomb just follows you, and I'm just like, this is now the brief moments before my splat death.
As a junior player, I know it from the other side.
Yes. Anywho, now we're maintaining mid here. There's 2 down on the side of Boston Squid Party. Splatalot A looking like that they are winning the mid control right now. The baller here looking to stall out the tower. This Luna here is adding some really nice pressure, but the Tri-Slasher coming in from above and stopping that. And all 4 members of Splatalot A were all teamed up in the corner there. And look at them just come forward like a wall, but it's trades back and forth. It's Luna versus Junior right now.
It looks like Splatalot A is opting to back up just a little bit. They know that Boston Squid Party is about to come back and retake their arcade and their plat. So smart play on their side, just waiting out for the rest of their teammates to come back so they can make another push.
Oh my goodness, look at this wall of pink. It's absolutely amazing to see. It's just the Junior left alive, and by the looks of it, this is most likely lead going to happen for Splatalot A as they do a really nice tower rotation for that Booyah. They get the pick on the Junior in the side. The pro here doing what they can to make it so they don't push any further.
And look at how much this Luna is just pushing up, putting in their work, just trying to keep the other team staggered. Mia staying alive for a long time in that 1v1. That was insane.
That was the best stall move you could see because the other members of Splatalot A backed up, got a couple jumps in while the K shot just went in and kind of distracted. But overtime is about to happen here, and this Tri-Slasher just going in but does get picked off here. Now Boston Squid Party has to take this tower back and keep control of it the entire time. But if they remember correctly now, Splatalot A came in from the other side the last time they were going to defend the tower like this. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but they all get cut out by bombs! Bombs away!
That push that Boston Squid Party had to make in overtime was quite the tall order because, as you saw, they were coming in through mid and they would have had to push all the way up to about the 3rd checkpoint. So there would have been a lot of special coordination, a lot of making sure that you stay alive. But either way, well played to both sides.
Oh my goodness. That, like I said, that one push that Boston Squid Party got on, they took advantage of the fact that Splatalot A came out from the other side, which not many teams do, but they did it to try to get the extra advantage. But even though the lead was lost, Splatalot A, they have a lot of pushing power as an entire unit, and you don't see many people do that as often down in low level, but you can tell that this team's been working together a lot. They have that established and they're covering each other's back. They're doing nice rotations. It's fantastic to see. I love seeing this.
Splatalot A is a very resilient team. They were able to just kind of shake off the lead that they lost and just push through, and that's exactly what a good team should be doing. It looks like Boston Squid Party is going to be counterpicking with Skipper Pavilion Splat Zones.
Ooh.
Very interesting map for me personally. There are a lot of ways that you can dress and slice and dice your pushes because there are two main ways to push in through zones. So it'll be really cool to see how these two teams tackle that and see where they're going to push.
There's so many different ways to start on this map, and that can cause to be a good push overall. Like, we might see an early zone cap for a pretty decent lead depending on how these two teams start, if they're going to match their starts or if they're going to put more people on one side than the other, if they're going to put all on one side. There's so many different ways, and seeing this map just being counterpicked as well, there's got to be a solid strategy going into it.
Yeah, there's never really correct way to push through in your opening push on Skipper Pavilion. It just kind of depends on what the other team is going to be running. But we'll see in just a few seconds how they're going to push. There's a Hydra coming out on the side of Boston Squid Party. I'm sure you're about this one.
Okay, now this one here, they are going. It looks like they're going to opt to 2-2, which is usually a common strategy with the back line. As Splatalot A is going to go into the unit, but the Tri-Slosher just goes in to get those two on top. The Hydra's going to be stuck in the missiles here. That's opening three for that Tri-Slosher.
Those two picks at the very top of mid that the Tri got, that was the key for them to be able to secure the zone and lock out as far as they are. Look at how far up they are in mid right now. Boston Squid Party is trying very hard to push through and get the zone, but it looks like two have gone down. The K-Gal is going to go down and the Hydra jumps back just in time.
Oh, that opening three shook them out a little bit, because now that they're playing with the Hydra, they have to know that they have to have a couple specials. They have to be a little more patient with this. Try to get them established. They do finally get a bomb pick, so this would be their opportunity to try to move in, as we're having a slosher fight here, but the Hydra's there to back it up. Can they get the pick? They do. Hydra coming out successfully. They're in a nice spot here, but now they have to make sure that their back is watched as well. They do come in, manage to recap zone. That is the patience they needed, getting that pick, then moving in together as a unit, finally able to take their, but the Tri-Slosher on the side of Splatalot A is going ham right now.
That Tri-Slosher is definitely putting in work, and Splatalot A has a bit of a penalty to work through, but I think with the aggressiveness that this Tri-Slosher is bringing, this may not be a problem for them.
If they can get this Hydra installed in a good place, and I know a place that I like to take is just maintaining the bottom side, because I feel like when people come in from the top side, you get a better angle when you're down below. So if they keep the Hydra towards the bottom and they're able to just guard kind of the top, Boston Squid Party will have a better time defending, but in this case you see the Hydra kind of moving in two different spots. They're getting caught in 2v1s and the paint's just kind of going down side by side. Boston Squid Party now really has to kind of communicate the sides that they really want to defend from.
That Tri-Slosher is still pushing up so far, giving Boston Squid Party a lot of trouble. There's a Booyah online. They're just trying to keep that zone capped. Boston Squid Party said, we're going to Booyah right back at you and try and take the zone.
I love how they got three trapped here in the corner. That was a great play. They got the three people down, trapped in garden, but the Plum just sneaking around from the side here. The Hydra to see. Okay, cool. The Hydra does pick that off. That was almost looking a really close trade there. But Hydra able to come out with the win. They're looking to try to paint their feet a little bit, but we know that painting the own feet is pretty difficult sometimes with little extra tap shots. But Hydra's now in a position in a really strong spot. As I can see, they're taking this up angle, picking off the people that are showing themselves and coming in from up top. They can put a lot of zoning pressure down from the bottom, but one goes down from the side. They get with the extra 2v1 help. They do get the pick. This is what Boston Squid Party wants right now. Even though they don't have the zone, they want to make sure that they can get the members back in and get those picks so that they can finally cap the zone and potentially move up to hold it.
Keeping that Hydra where they are is exactly what Boston Squid Party needs right now to bring the zone back. You can see just how well they were able to maintain the zone with the Hydra just sitting there right there at the bottom.
But however, the Tri-Slosher's coming in and picking off the biggest threat, because that Hydra's been putting in a lot of work along with the shot as well. I guess they've all been really putting in a lot of decent amount of work here. But however, the Tri-Slosher on Splatalot A is still being definitely one of the biggest threats, just kind of going in while the others follow up. But here comes another attempt at push. They have Booyah ready, however, they are missiled. The Booyah is coming out. They need to try to cap this zone as the timer's running out, and the Booyah going a little bit far, but coming in for the pinch is all four are down in that bottom corner. Can Boston Squid Party capitalize on this? And they do.
Plum was in a very dicey position. It looked like they were trying to jump back, but just couldn't make it. Here comes that try from Boston Squid Party, just trying to slosh over the ledges and make sure that that's all clear. Hydra's pushed up onto top mid now, trying to just apply that pressure so that they can't come down from the top and retake that zone. We see the try flanking from right. Splatalot A is moving back in and taking the zone once again.
leaving the Hydra down below with one other. It's just the members of Boston Squid Party up on top are definitely struggling with the Tri's pressure and are getting caught out on top. However, the wipe happens. The Tri Slasher from Boston Squid Party coming in and capitalizing on that. On those two people that were paying attention to the Hydra, and now Boston Squid Party with overtime happening. They have to hold this zone. Penalty still got another 10 ticks away. The tries coming in from the side. Are they going to see this? Missiles are out on them. Armor's out. This looks like it's going to be a nice push coming in from Splatalot A, as the Hydra was the only one left alive, and that special push does seal it for them.
Splatalot A was able to just be patient. They knew that they were in overtime, and Boston Squid Party, their penalty was gone, and the timer was counting down, but Splatalot A stayed patient, and they were able to get the picks that they need, eventually putting a full wipe on Boston Squid Party, and Splatalot A is going to walk away 3-0 with this set.
Even though it may say 3-0, those games definitely show that Boston Squid Party had the capability to push back. They did have lead in some of those scenarios. They came back with a few good pushes of their own. They put up a good fight. Like, even though it says 3-0, that was definitely a good set to watch.
There was lots of back and forth with all three of these games. So well done to Splatalot A as well as Boston Squid Party for putting up such an amazing fight.
Absolutely. So, like, we... wow. Yeah, no, just everything. And I know at the very end there, I did like the switch of Boston Squid Party going to the anchor. They did have it there. It was just the Tri-Slosher on Splatalot A, just getting the jump on them, and then teammates were following up on there. We gotta give shout outs to the follow-up with the Tri-initiated follow-up from like the shot and all that. It just worked out so well for them. For Splatalot.
Yeah, they were all in the right places at the right time, and they were able to just use their positioning to their advantage. Their specials were all coming out at the right time. Again, great plays from that team and from both teams.
Absolutely. So that would be Splatalot A continuing on to semis, and Boston Squid Party going down below. But there will be more action coming up, as we will be back soon with winter semis. But I believe this is also a sign off from us, Pac.
Yes, we're just about done here, but stick around, y'all. Semifinals are coming up. Gem and Fusion will be on the mic, and you're definitely going to want to hear them. I had a great time commentating these sets here. I'm sure you did too, Devi. Where can we find you?
On me, yes, okay. Words. You can find me on Twitch, Devi_Doovie, Twitter, Devi Doovie. Of course, we saw the Hydra at the very end. That is my most favored weapon. It's what I play a lot. You can see all that action on my streams and all that. Pac, how about you?
You can find me on twitter.com/Pock, P-O-C-K, with 3 underscores at the end. I'm a junior player, support player, so most of the gameplay that you'll see from me will be just popping armor, throwing bombs, and the like.
Good old support stuff. Gotta give shout outs to the supports, because you guys put in a lot of work, and I know as a backline myself wouldn't be able to do a lot without our fellow support players. So anyway, guys, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned for winter semis. We'll see you soon.
See
And welcome back to Little Squid League 20. I'm Fusion, and I am joined here today by Gem, as we're going to be casting semis and winners finals of LSL 20. How are you doing today, Gem?
I'm doing great, Fusion. I'm doing a lot of thinking about Squid Game lately, so it's great to be back here talking about Squid Game with you again.
Yeah, last time was at LTC, and I had a blast commentating with you then. And yeah, it looks like we're going to be seeing Germanic Alliance versus Seaya. I didn't get the chance to commentate either of these teams yesterday, but they've both made it to semis, so it appears that they're both very strong contenders as we are in the top cut of LSL, top cut of the LSL bracket.
Absolutely. We've got Germanic Alliance, who made it through with a 2-1 win over Ship Shape and a 3-1 win over Absolute Zero. So dropping games both times. It looks like they were close matches. And then Seaya coming through Glitter Gel Pens with a 2-0 victory and Growling Otters with a 3-0 victory. That's a team name and a half right there. So Seaya hasn't dropped a game yet in this bracket, which is a little bit interesting. But have you seen any of these players before? You recognize any of the names, or know maybe any of the weapons that they play here?
Unfortunately, I don't think I have. I don't want to.
It'll be a learning experience for both of us. Then I don't want to throw you under the bus there.
No, I don't want to be like, I don't know what these players play, but I'm interested to see. But I am interested to see, of course. Of course.
Yes, this is one of the only top Red Dappledoolies players. Yes, that's what red means. Yes, we're doing some armchair psychology here.
Yeah, but if I was not mistaken, was that Starfish Zones? Was the first match of this? It is Starfish Zones, and it actually looks like we're in the counter pick part of the bracket. So beyond the first match, teams will be counter picking the map and mode. So teams will be able to kind of move to their comfort stages or comfort modes if they're not feeling so comfortable. But of course, whoever wins the first game does get that advantage, because you get 2 chances to finish off that set on the stages you like.
All right, here we go. Looks like we're getting started. Splat Zones, Starfish. We had a DC on the first round, so fingers crossed that doesn't happen again, that we're able to get that all sorted and the players are able to play the whole thing out. Looking at the comps, nothing super outstanding here. There's a Soda Slosher on the one side, which is going to, speak to a slightly different playstyle they're going to be going for, versus the Nautilus and the 52 on the other side. But both sides running a Zap and a K-Shot, so pretty standard support weapons here. And now to go the missiles. Let's see how this fight goes down.
Yeah, of course, Starfish Zone's really kind of notorious for these awkward stall battles in mid. Nobody wants to cross the zone. There's so much going on in mid. Those missiles are going to make a big difference, though, as the Bucket's able to get a very nice pick. This Nautilus thinking about going for the flank, but changing their mind at the last second. They're going back towards mid. That Nautilus with the constant fire is going to be a really good weapon to pressure through that zone. But Germanic Alliance did have an early lead there, but it looked like Seaya managed to turn the tide in their favor slowly over that time period.
Yeah, more of a positional zone cap. They didn't really get that many picks to earn that. It's a 2-for-2 fight here, but great job by Seaya, just to have the zone ticking down while that fight was happening. I think that's those are some decent points. It tacked on a penalty. Like, even though they end up losing the fight, if they had won the fight, that would have put them in a much better position. So good job to them for painting up before they go in. Here comes another special out of Seaya and the missiles as well. So they're coordinating to push back in. Let's see if they can get any picks. They do get one.
Yep, here comes the paint coming back from Seaya. They are able to get that recap. There's one of the members over on that left side looking for that flank. It was the K-Shot. They're not able to get the pick, though, and they do get taken down. And that's going to spell the end of that hold. Luna over on that NZAP trying to take out that Nautilus, not quite able to do it, and it looks like the suction bomb finished them off for them. So really nice job pressuring that Naut into the corner. And now this is the farthest back we've seen either team in this game. Germanic Alliance could really get something something start up. But gotta be careful not to track too many of those missiles through the zone. That's a big deal. But unfortunately, actually, we do have a DC on the side of Seaya, but I don't know if there's anything we can do about that at this point.
Yeah, we were past 50. I believe that's where the mark is for DC rules. And well, actually, they already had a DC. So
yeah,
even
exactly.
then, the second DC would come into effect, and they have to play it out. So Germanic Alliance was already in a pretty strong position. Looks like Seaya is just giving this one up. They were already in a strong position. You know, if you could definitely say, you know, they stood a good chance of winning the rest of it, but it's Splatoon. It could have gone either way. You hate to see the DC coming in. Hopefully, Seaya can find a sub that's going to be a little bit more reliable in terms of their connection.
Yeah, hopefully they're able to get that resolved. They did seem to put up a really good fight regardless, so does bode well for the next couple games potentially. And yeah, actually, I was a little bit mistaken. It's not best of 3, it is best of 5 for semis and onwards, I believe. So looks like that game is going to end up going to Germanic Alliance. So we're going to be seeing a counter pick coming out from Seaya. Anything you think that they might tend towards here? Any particular mode?
So I'm trying to make sure I don't have the colors mixed up. Seaya, I believe, was the one that had the 52 and the not, whereas Germanic Alliance was the one with the bucket. Yeah, okay, I didn't get those flip-flopped. So they're playing more of an aggressive comp. There is at least for that round, there was an anchor on the other side. And so they're going to like being able to rush the enemy team down. So that typically means, you know, you want more cover in whatever map that you choose. You don't want like big long open sight lines that are good for backliners, so you're not gonna like something like Albacore or something like that because you just don't have the range to contest a backliner on a map like that. But I'm also thinking that there's a bucket player on the other team, so like something like a Black Belly where you would maybe see a Tri-Slosher. Probably also something they're going to want to avoid unless, you know, they want to bring their own Tri-Slosher or something like that. And I don't know their weapon pools exactly. But if they're all shooter players, then that kind of narrows things down a little bit for them. There's also a question. I feel like it's hard to judge like which teams are going to be good at which modes, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's just it's not really so much what is your skill set, it's more what is your knowledge base for whether you know how good you're going to be at those. I kind of like Clam Blitz the Reef. I think there's going to be a little bit of a challenge if the other team can put a strong backline player on bridge. That might be something that's a little bit tough to crack, but they do have a 52 gal, which is going to be good at holding the bridge down for them, and it's going to be good at aggressing that. So I could see this playing in their favor. And again, you know, map mode knowledge is a huge determining factor as well. If they know how they want to play around this, if they've got a game plan, and this is something they've done, you know, 5 times already in this tournament, that could be hugely beneficial to them.
Yeah, I mean, that Nautilus can definitely be a very consistent threat over on that bridge. And like you said, Clam Blitz is, I think, more than anything, like a knowledge-based mode, right? Kind of grabbing 3 clams from the pod, positioning, trying to keep your pushes going on, you know, knowing when to try and go for the picks and when not to. And Clam Blitz Reef is definitely... I mean, we saw a lot of weapons that are looking to skirmish and fight, and I think Clam Blitz Reef is a small enough map that those kind of weapons can really thrive. So we see a pretty similar comp coming out with a junior this time. Yeah, similar comps on both sides, it seems like. Yep.
Yeah, so the junior being the one difference here, swapping that out when it was a Jet Squelcher before. So they're going to have armors to try and resist the pushes from Seaya here. Looks like Germanic Alliance has strong control of bridge right now, and even with the missiles going down, they're trying to hold it, and that doesn't pay off for them. Goose going down here. Let's see if Seaya can take over the bridge now.
Yeah, that was a little bit unfortunate. I think that was actually a teammate's missiles. We I mean, even at this level, we see a lot of missile spam still. It looks like actually most of the members of Seaya have kind of dropped onto that left side. Yeah, they're finding themselves in a bit of an awkward position, so they kind of end up giving up bridge. This Nod is kind of stuck on their own. Luna is going to try and finish them off. They are able to do that, but with this power clam kind of like trapped in the low ground there, they're going to have a hard time getting in. Germanic Alliance using that opportunity to kind of rotate towards the bridge. Looks like Luna is actually trying to get off of a flank there. They're not really contested that much there. They are able to get a very nice pick. Luna gets one. Luna gets a second one, and 2 down. That is going to open the gates for a push from Seaya, potentially in the alley if they want to.
Yeah, I like the team play there from Vimo, spotting that their teammate was on the flank, spotting that they could help with that Booyah Bomb, and they end up getting a power clam in. What more can they do here? They did miss one of them, and they're able to score that on the fadeaway. Nice work there. Just swimming through alley, and rather than taking the fight like Germanic Alliance was expecting, they just picked it up and threw it. So heads up play there. Maybe could have been doing a little bit more to pre-fire from Germanic Alliance to prevent that, but even so, good eye. So now Germanic Alliance playing defense in their base.
We got another DC from the Knot. Seems like something is going on with their net, but I mean, Seaya really has no choice but to keep playing here. They do have a lead, so if they can play defense, that's what it's really going to come down to. So, but as I'm saying that, Germanic Alliance seems to be getting something started here. They are pushing in mid. That 52 is able to get a pick. They have the Booyah Bomb online if they want to. They do pull it off. There's 3 down on the side of, or I guess 2 down on the side of Seaya. And but the power clam behind died. It looked like it must have gotten dropped when someone got picked or something. But yeah, because of that, it doesn't look like Germanic Alliance will have enough for the lead here.
Yeah, that's a really lucky break there for Seaya. I don't know what happened there because I don't think they had any members that far forward. So maybe someone threw it back and was expecting another player to pick it up when they didn't. Not sure. But that significantly limits the scoring push there. And so pretty lucky break for Seaya. Still, it seems really difficult for them to be resisting the push here. Every single pick that Germanic Alliance get works for more than what it usually would, because instead of taking 1/4 of the team down, you're taking 1/3 of the team down. So now it's a 2v4 situation off of one pick. That's so brutal.
And here they go, 3 down. The clams are going to come in through mid. Red looking to score those. They are able to take the lead. Germanic Alliance taking up this position in the car there. Yep, they're able to get some very nice picks. And Red's going back to mid for more clams. And yeah, with that advantage, Germanic Alliance is really kind of taking the pushes slow. They're able to just kind of use their numbers advantage to win this fight here.
It's looking like the clam thrower has 4 behind them, so this will get it down to 1 point left. And now they just need that one more clam. There are a couple players in their way. They might not actually be able to get that one clam.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, basket's going to close.
Seaya's going to hang on for the time being. But yeah, it's going to take a miracle if they're going to want to pull this off. Germanic Alliance still has 12 clams and total control of that street. Yeah, the 3v4 situation is making this even more difficult than it otherwise would be.
Mm-hmm. They need 78 points to win this game.
Oh boy. Yeah, here comes that clam in. They are able to score it. Some really nice pick from the zap there, but it's not quite going to be enough. Looks like a couple more clams are going to come in from the member by the car, and yeah, Germanic Alliance will take game 2. Hopefully for game 3, they are able to have a little bit more stable net. It's rather unfortunate that that's happened 2 or 3 times in a row at this point. It doesn't seem like, yeah, hopefully they're able to find a sub if that's necessary.
Yeah, fingers crossed that they're going to be able to do that, because it always, takes the wind out of your sails when something like that impacts a match. Like, even for the winning team, they're like, okay, did we really earn this? we just kind of played the game until other player dropped down, and they have been competitive matches up until that point. It's like these 2 teams should definitely be communicating in the messages and being like, hey, let's exchange information, let's scrim together sometime. So that they would have a lot to learn from each other.
Yeah, it is not over yet though. if they are able to get some some solid net packets going, there is another opportunity, because again, this is a best of 5. It's not like play all 3 or anything like it was yesterday. But yeah, it seemed like they were doing pretty well. Seaya was having a good time on Clamblitz Reef up until that disconnect. I don't know. I can't quite remember the rules. Is this a like a you can't go back to the mapper mode you won on? Because if that's the case, they may just run Clamblitz Reef back.
I'm looking up. I've got the rules open right here. Lobby rules ban system. There we go. Oh no, never mind. That's for which players are banned, not for which how you ban them. I'm not sure it actually lists it right here for the counterpicking rules. So. Awesome. So we've got those on their way. I was trying to read super duper quickly and was not able to find it in that short time, but so they've got to go for the reverse sweep here to clear this out. I could totally see them just counter picking back to Clamblitz Reef if, you know, that's something that they feel strongly about. It's something that's, you know, if they feel comfortable about the loss, air quotes, that they had when they had a DC isn't something that should factor into their decision-making process. They should just be like, well, this is still the best chance we have to win it, so let's just go back to it. That's what I'm hoping to see there. So I'm getting the counter pick rules here from our streamer. Yep, thank you so much, Jub. When counterpicking a map mode, it must be on a map mode you have not won on. So, for example, if you won on Reef Zones, you can't counterpick to Splat Zones or the Reef until all 4 ranked modes have been played, and then you can return to Splat Zones, but still not the Reef. So thank you for that very clear explanation there. So obviously they haven't won on Splat Zones or the Reef or Clamblitz. So even though they've played all of those already, they are able to go back to them, and it kind of makes sense. You know, if your opponent already won on it, you know, you would expect them to be able to win on it again, in theory. So, yeah, I like those counterpick rules. I think those make some sense. And that's also fun because in a best of 5, you know, if it goes to game 5, that makes the last game a wild card. It could be any of the modes that we've already seen. There's no restrictions except for the maps themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like you know, this kind of mode or these kind of counterpicks mean when I'd say if Seaya wins this game, we're gonna have to see Tower Control or Rainmaker coming out from Germanic Alliance.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing to think about is that there's the concept of counterpick advantage, which, I mean, here, Germanic Alliance being up 2-0 is going to have counterpick advantage for the rest of the match. But game 5, you know, if you're in a close, you know, 2-2 situation, the team that has counterpick advantage is going to be getting that counterpick on the deciding game. So I think that's something to keep in mind here, that, you know, this is going to be a counterpick for Seaya because they've lost the first 2 officially. But then the next 2 matches after that, even if they are to win on this counterpick, are going to be Germanic Alliance's counterpicks. So not only do they have to not lose a single match, they also have to do 2 of them on Germanic Alliance's counterpicks. So it's going to take a really big momentum shift, but again, both of these matches have been due to the DC. So if you're Seaya, you got to be thinking, okay, those matches, you know, those are flukes. Those are situations that we're not going to be put in again, hopefully. That's something that's outside of our control. What was within our control, this seemed winnable. So you got to kind of keep that sort of mindset going. You got to start building some psychological momentum for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's still more than a reasonable chance that they're going to be able to come back with this. They've had the lead some of the or both of these past few games. So as long as they're able to kind of maintain their composure after these DCs, which can be kind of tricky, of course, because I mean, there's nothing really more frustrating than like you have the lead and then suddenly you have a DC and it's like everyone gives up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, this is definitely a test of a team's mindset, being put in a situation where something frustrating happens like that. But Seaya does have 6 players on their roster. So even if they do end up having to swap one of them out, it does look like they have a couple of players ready to go that, they've probably played with before, or at least are familiar with. May throw a wrench a little bit in their game plan if, they were really planning on working to set up that Nautilus, and that's kind of how the team comp works. Then bringing another player in, it's going to change, who their primary Slayer weapon is going to be, and there's some questions about what do they do differently from there, and so maybe that's something that Germanic Alliance is going to struggle to adapt to. They've been able to see these relatively similar comps up until now. Then all of a sudden, C is throwing some new comp at them. But I think, okay, they're going to TC Anchovy. So different counter pick. They didn't end up going back to Clam Reef like I was expecting that they might. But also, again, like we were just talking about, with a different comp, maybe this is actually what's going to be good for them. So
yeah,
let's see.
I actually was kind of somewhat thinking that they might want to come to a map like this against a comp with no real backlines, or I guess we did see the V-Jet coming out from Germanic Alliance on Starfish, but against a comp, or as a comp with like 52 gal with Nautilus, this seems like a really solid TC map. You can kind of leverage that Booyah Bomb and leverage the Inkjet coming over the the snipe area when on the plat. Excuse me. But yeah, we do see very similar comps coming out, except we actually see the Kensa Glugas, and I'm a big fan of that. Of course, the Fizzy's able to just toss out so much paint, so much chip damage, and it has armor to boot. So it looks like that's going to be filling the role of the armor weapon on the side of Germanic Alliance, or sorry, on the side of Seaya.
I kind of like the idea of a triple midline comp here. There's a lot of open space, particularly in mid, and having a little bit of range on your front line can really help them hold that area down and take safe fights from around cover. It doesn't end up going their way, though. Germanic Alliance getting 3 down and actually taking control of the tower, 2-0 right now on the board. So they're going to be able to get some paint on plat, jump some players in, and they're going to be able to get through this first checkpoint in all likelihood. Let's see how Seaya decides to defend.
Yeah, it looks like we do see the Nautilus up on that wall there, and it's kind of going to come down to them probably to pull out an Inkjet as the tower rolls into this checkpoint here. Here it comes. They do manage to help with one pick there. Not quite able to get a second. They're just shooting at the tower, not quite able to get enough, and it looks like actually the rest of the members of Seaya are going to end up getting backed up because they were unable to get enough kind of chip damage on the members of Germanic Alliance. And so the tower's going to roll into the second checkpoint. Some specials do come out to stall, but still all of Germanic Alliance alive.
Oh, that's another crucial pick on the 52, one of their main skirmishers there. Fortunately, they're able to trade one back for it, but Germanic Alliance has really not been fully stopped at all yet on this push, really at all this game.
Oh yeah, I mean, just this K-Shot, or sorry, the Zap there has been doing a really good job staying alive over on that right side and keeping consistent pressure on their plat. And now look at that, they kind of run out of momentum and they do back up. This Jet Squelcher not able to get a pick. They do drop themselves into an awkward position. They're going to get backed over into this left side. So I think that gives Seaya the opportunity to take this fan here if they want to.
Looks like they're focusing on the fight on that left-hand side for them there. Here comes armor and a Booyah Bomb. Booyah Bomb goes out, will catch Goose, so 3v3 situation now, but Seaya backed up, all clumped up in one group, and they're getting flanked right now. They are able to pick one on the side, so it's just a 2v2 situation at the moment, but beautiful play there from Luna, slaying here on this end zap before finally going down to the Klugas here. That looked like that hit. That looked like that was 3 sloshes that hit.
Right through
maybe a
their
little
face.
spectator lag. But do end up getting it there, and it is once again going to be Germanic Alliance riding the tower, starting to try and climb up onto the enemy plat here.
Yeah, no DCs yet, so internet looking a little bit more stable for Seaya. Here we go. It looks like two are stuck over in that office. Luna mostly alone on the plat, riding the tower into the checkpoint. But here comes that Soda Slosher with the Burst Rush. They're going to try and challenge that Booyah Bomb. I think they're not going to be able to do much about it, but they are able to get the checkpoint. That's a big deal. Germanic Alliance able to roll past that checkpoint and get out alive. So they only took one member down in that situation, and that's going to let them kind of jump back into mid and continue this push. And yep, just as we say that, they're already filtering back into this office area. The Jet Squelcher able to stay alive on tower, get a very nice pick on the Glugas. The Jet Squelcher in the third checkpoint, just dancing around this tower, and everyone's trying to focus the tower, and it looks like Germanic Alliance is going to be able to take out those members anyways. The tower is all the way at 8, not quite able to roll forward, but yes, still Germanic Alliance is still alive. Luna holding the front and taking out 2 more members, and it looks like the tower is just rolling back, but nevertheless Germanic Alliance is just in total control. They're killing everybody.
Yeah, it seems like this is the strongest match we've seen so far from Germanic Alliance. Just the KA, I want to point out that zap on 12 KA already. I don't think most of those are assists. I think a lot of those are just them going in and playing the frontliner here. Luna's been getting a lot done on, or I think it's Luna on the zap there. Is that the K shot? That might be the K shot. So their zap has been doing an awful lot on that, but or shoot, I've got this. Anyway, I got a little confused there for a second. But I think one thing that might be hurting Seaya is they don't really have someone who wants to just like push forward and go in. They're not like putting themselves far forward when they do get advantages, and like they haven't really been able to claim plat until just now with overtime looming. So I think part of it was maybe a comp issue, or maybe just understanding how to play the comp. We'll see though, because they do have a pretty good look right now with 2 members of Seaya stuck, or Germanic Alliance stuck behind them. Might try to come in for the flank here, but I think in theory this goes for Seaya here.
Oh god, they got multiple people down. This Jet Squelcher over on the top is going to make it very difficult, and they are able to sneak onto the tower in time. So not the prettiest set in the world because of all the DCs, but the third game Germanic Alliance was pretty much on top of their game.
Yeah, for sure. At the end there, I was worried because you have 2 members on Germanic Alliance that are behind the tower there. But it's not Rainmaker. It's not like they can just run the tower away from those 2 players, and those 2 players will never catch up. As soon as they hit a checkpoint or something, all of the specials got dumped on them, and they had pressure from every direction and just ran out of paint. So ends up working out there for Germanic Alliance in that game 3, and definitely the most dominant game that we've seen in that set, which has to feel good for them knowing that their previous 2 wins came off of DCs. So they definitely played that one well, and if nothing else, they at least earned that deciding game and earned it very decisively.
Absolutely. They were just able to kind of put out that consistent pressure. They were able to back up when they needed to. Overall, they just played like a really kind of stable, aggressive game. They backed up and gave jumps back in when they needed to. And I think on a large map like Anchovy Games, I think that is a big deal.
I was really liking how they were approaching the more grouped up squad from Seaya. A lot of those midliners maybe stepping on each other's toes the tiniest bit, trying to take the same positions as each other. They were able to find them grouped up in a lot of positions where they were able to put flankers behind them. So fantastic play there from Germanic Alliance. A little unfortunate for Seaya. We hate to see it go down where they just didn't actually have the players on the map ready to go. But you can't feel too bad about that if you're Germanic Alliance. Coming through with a 3-0, however they earned it. And Seaya, they're going to have another chance. They're going to be going back down into the losers bracket, see if they can work their way out into Grands. with a team with more consistent netcode.
Yeah, and that will be it for semis. Germanic Alliance takes it 3-0 over Seaya.
Welcome back, everybody, to Little Squid League 20. We're here with winners finals. It's going to be Shadow Squids versus Germanic Alliance. I am once again joined here by Fusion.
How's it going? We are in winners finals. Shadow Squids versus Germanic Alliance. We just saw Germanic Alliance take out Seaya after a couple unfortunate DCs, but in the game without the DC, they did put out a very strong showing and nearly. Did they knock out or did they nearly knock out? No. It was a nearly. They nearly knocked out on Anchovy TC and overall performed really well. But yesterday I commentated Shadow Squids, who, despite this being their LSL debut, they've shown to be a very strong team. They've won pretty much all their sets here, making it to winners finals. I think they actually have won all their sets up to this point, including yesterday. So I'm really excited to kind of see what these teams will do versus each other as we head into our first match on Zone's Inkblot Academy.
Yeah, I was glad to see Germanic Alliance playing as strongly as they did at the end there. Lots of really good aggression, which is something that you love to see from a team that's running, so much frontline pressure. They were picking their spots well, going in on fights that they knew they could win with players who had flanks. So that was definitely, the strongest that they were looking, I think, out of the 3 games that they had. So they're good and warmed up, and they haven't had to wait all too long since they've been in the tournament here. So this is going to be, they're going to be in, peak shape right now. And I'm excited to see Shadow Squids and see how well they can handle it. We're going on to Zone's Inkblot here, so do you think we see any changes in the comp from Germanic Alliance that they've been running so far?
They may try and kind of like tend towards a comp with a little bit more paint, because it seems like their comp is more, kind of Slayer heavy at this point. Was that them running the junior last set? I can't recall. I believe so, yes. Because they were the ones who were running the bucket and the jet in the first round there. So yes, they swapped the jet out for the junior. Yeah, I think that's definitely something that could be a solid pick here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, junior's a great weapon for enabling strong Slayer weapons. Because it paints up a whole bunch for the Slayer weapon and then throws a bunch of bombs to limit the positions that the other players can be in. And that gives the Slayer weapon much easier picks to go in with. And also, obviously, it's nice being able to spam out a whole bunch of armors so that those Slayer weapons can play a little bit more aggressively, maybe take some fights that they wouldn't have been able to take otherwise. Let's see what they do end up with here. Okay, so they do end up actually running a Tri-Slosher for their armor. Or no, that's a Tri-Nouveau.
They got the NZAP for the armor this time, but I think something we did see yesterday, or I saw yesterday, was of course random on that E-Leader. The E-Leader, very strong long-range weapon that we actually don't see too often, but I'm excited to see if random's able to make something happen with some big picks here. One of the members of Shadow Squids is going to go down early, and some very patient play from Germanic Alliance is going to net them this recap here as they come in with the missiles.
Yeah, Germanic Alliance being able to hold there, put a Booyah out on plat to split everybody up, but crucially no picks go down. So Shadow Squid's going to have a little bit of a special advantage going into this, I think. Inkjet goes off, armor goes out, so they're trading specials for now.
Yeah, it's Tri-Slosher finding themselves in a bit of an awkward position, but they're going to stay alive and get a pick. Yeah, they managed to dodge that Inkjet up to the last second. Shadow Squids does seem to be at an advantage here, but as I say that, Germanic Alliance turning the tides and take out multiple members. It's just the E-Leader left, and this is looking like the start of a really big hold. Shadow Squids needs to kind of get their specials online and get themselves ready for another push.
Yeah, Shadow Squids finding themselves in what should be, a positional advantage with some good mechanical plays from Germanic Alliance turning it around, and they are ticking points down on the zone so fast. That's still only a trade in a 3v2. All of the specials are up for Germanic Alliance, but they are able to recap. So good job from Shadow Squids to keep the game alive there. Big 60-point penalty.
Definitely. Inkjet comes out, but it doesn't seem to be able to get a pick. Looks like over on that left side, we're going to have a trade between some members, and now this E-Leader finding themselves in an awkward position. They're trying to challenge this 52, but wow, very, very good awareness from Luna, turning around to catch that flank. And yeah, this 52 gal doing so much work. A really nice pick. The Booyah coming out, tossing it at the E-Leader. Perhaps a little bit of overeager use of that Booyah Bomb, but nonetheless some really nice aggressive play there from the 52 gal.
Yeah, do you think they knew they were up on perch, or they were just pre-firing it? I could go either way on that.
Yeah, I mean, they may have known because you could hear it or something, but either way, it's really good awareness from them. But here we go. Shadow Squids does come back in for that recap, and this is the tricky part, right? The E-Leader's sitting on top mid. They don't have anything to contest it. They need to just be patient and get those missiles, otherwise that E-Leader's going to snipe them. So I think, like, as long as Shadow Squids is careful with how they track their missiles here through the zone, I think they could make this a big play. Yep, the Booyah Bomb coming out right after that Inkjet, and that's going to enable them to survive. Here comes the rain. Here come the missiles. That's going to be really awkward. The missiles are going to land all throughout the zone, and Germanic Alliance has a lot of paint and a lot of members here and able to recap.
Yeah, that's textbook. You've got the E-Leader in a really difficult position to deal with. We can look at the E-Leader right now and say, oh, they have 0 KA, but that's not the point. The point is that they have so much zoning pressure that you have to play so differently around the E-Leader. Them being in that position, you got to get them out of there. And the Booyah Bomb does exactly that, flushes them down for the frontliners to deal with. Great take back. Shadow Squids back in control, though. Fantasy coming over here to the left tree, picks someone up, and it's just the end zap up. So Shadow Squids stand a chance here of taking the lead. This isn't a long penalty that Germanic Alliance have to work with here. They really need a decisive push in with good special usage if they're going to take this. And it looks like the bucket staggered a little bit, so they might not even have that. They just need to play to save the game at this point.
Yeah, here we go. Random. Yep, these missiles are going to force them off of top mid, and they're going to need to back up a bit. But nonetheless, they're able to still kind of hold their ground in that plat. I think just one big pick could be the difference for Shadow Squids there, but they're not able to quite get it. So that means that they're going to have to back up and get ready for yet another pushback in as the timer nearly hits 40 seconds remaining.
Yeah, really crucial near bloodless retake there. Beautiful spacing of the rain to make that push work out so that the other team is forced to just kind of back up. Shadow Squid's going 3 down, all different points on the map. So super unfortunate there. This is looking impossible, I think. It's a really big zone. I don't think you can get to it to paint it in time at this point.
Ooh, that's a really nice pick. The T-Tech trying to contest the zone. That was nearly a neutral zone, but they're not quite able to get it in time. So
yeah, that looks neutral to me from the end screen there, but
yeah, what do you need, like 75% or something? You need like a lot to just neutralize it.
Yeah, getting very, very close at the very least. Also worth noting that it may look a little bit different on the end screen, just because if paint went into the air but didn't fall on the ground when time was called, it won't count. You can throw a bomb out there, and if it doesn't explode before time is called, it'll look like it should have capped even when it didn't. So, sometimes that can be a little deceptive, but they did exactly what they needed to do at the end. They just rushed the zone because they had no time to do anything else. Ignore the enemy players, taking a fight as a distraction. As a frontliner in that situation, when I'm in the lead, a lot of the times I'll just run forward and feed, because time that they're spending shooting me is time that they're not spending painting the zone. And that often stalls for long enough that they just never even get enough paint pressure on the zone. So, yeah, with the retake coming in there almost bloodlessly at the very end for Germanic Alliance, it was going to be really hard for Shadow Squids to get back in there. They needed a really strong push, and going 1 down at the end of that staggering. They just ran out of time. They didn't have enough numbers left to make it happen.
Yeah, that was just a really well played game overall from Germanic Alliance. I think that Shadow Squids pulling out that E-Later, they may try out a larger map than the Inkblot Art Academy. It could be zones, could be another mode. I'm guessing they may try and win on the zones because they seem to be relatively comfortable there. We do see Rainmaker Sturgeon Shipyard. Okay, this is not at all the kind of pick I expected. I don't think we'll be seeing the E-Later here this time, but we may be seeing like Splatterscope or something to that effect. This is a interesting map. I think this is one where Ray can shut down a lot of things.
Yeah, if we do have anyone who plays custom jet and likes to Ray spam, like this is one of those maps where that weapon earns its reputation. It's just so hard when you can be so far back, but the map is still so relatively narrow and you know exactly where they're going. If you're trying to go on the right side, there are all these complicated jumps that you have to be doing, and so you can just kind of pre-fire with that Ray. It's not a super easy map to counterplay the jet. So that would be a good option for them, I think, for sure. Or, running a scope or something like that. There are lots of good defensive positions for them to take with that as well. Just not sure what their backliner is going to want to play here. Let's see. Do have the splatter scope. Good call.
Yeah, I believe they pulled that out yesterday, and we do see the Sea-Jet on the other side. So we still actually see the Tri-Nouveau with that rain. That rain can kind of clear up a lot of space. I think that passive paint can be really nice for Rainmaker. Overall here, we see Shadow Squids trying to go for some early picks. They're rushing that snipe. They're able to get one in time, and Fantasy doing their best to dip and dodge and do everything they can.
No way.
To jump out in time. And, despite getting out alive, I think the number of people who back up are going to make this a little bit awkward to hold. Yeah, the Charger's going to have a hard time trying to sit in that position while they got a bucket and 52 targeting them.
Yeah, I do kind of like bringing the Tri-Nouveau back. The rain was extremely impactful in that last match in particular. Are they going for the left push right now? Yeah, they jumped it over. I wonder, what do you think about that, going for the left push here? Like, I feel like on this map, that's kind of suboptimal if there are defenders up.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the kind of push you want to do when you get a quick wipe or something. So if you do just like want 40 points on the board or something really quick and you can make it there, it can be really good. But I think overall, you want to take it slow, clear out the snipe, and potentially push through mid or right.
Yeah, I would agree. I think especially being able to get up onto the box right before street, I think that's a really powerful position if you can scoot it through there, because then you have, this big wall in front of you that you can use for cover to get all the way down to 20 or so. So, yeah, I don't know. Well, looks like they're going for the left push on the other side here. Gets stopped on the box. Just too many defenders up in that upper right. They've got so much height advantage. They've got all these complicated jumps that they have to make that are, not the easiest thing. You still do see people missing those jumps occasionally. So push is going to be stopped pretty early here at this, mid 60s mark. Definitely still anybody's game. Plenty of time left, and those aren't very big pushes to try and overcome. Fantasy, not going to be able to scoot by with it this time. That's a really aggressive flank that they've been trying over Spinner there this whole time, and doesn't end up working out for them. Now they're in numbers disadvantage, but here comes the Ray. Can it stop this push? It can.
Yeah, that Ray is going to make it very difficult to push open that top lift, but as we say that, actually, oh dang, what a splat bomb, actually, rolling off the edge just before it explodes. But yeah, that top lift area is very difficult to get to if there's literally even a single person out there. So they're probably going to, Germanic Alliance is probably going to try and play it a little slow. I think both teams want to get that Ray online for their offensive pushes, especially if they want to take that top left.
So back to pretty much dead even. There is potential for a Ray battle here when the fight happens. Missiles have just been launched, so we're trying to push if we're Shadow Squids right now. But right now it looks like Germanic Alliance is the one with all of the map control. The displacement from the missiles just didn't get used. But a couple members are finally going down here. Fantasy popping off, getting 2 or maybe even 3 there, and they're going to start trying to push it over the left-hand side. This time, uncontested. They make the jump across. There's an Inkjet, and this is potential for some really big points now. 3 down, and a beautiful stop there from EST to save the game. But damage done for sure for Shadow Squids. That's a really good look for them. They're looking for the pop still. They're not done with this yet.
Oh yeah, I mean, Live's still up in this top left. It's going to be very difficult. This is a tiny little alley. Yeah, they are going to try and move to a different position there. That's a very good spot. Looks like Live was trying to get a sneaky push there, if possible. Not able to pull it off this time, but nonetheless, a really good push. That's going to be difficult to contest.
I like the idea to look for it even if it wasn't working, and they did a great job of recognizing, okay, I'm being watched from all angles. I should not try and force this, and backing up and preserving their lives.
Absolutely. And already we see Shadow Squids back on the offensive here, and Fantasy trying to clear out that snipe. It looks like actually they're going to just be kind of chilling in mid, holding their ground and trying to defend the Rainmaker as long as they can. Fantasy getting those missiles online, trying to target members of Germanic Alliance as they drop into mid. They just need to play keep away, keep them off of that Rainmaker, toss some bombs towards it, and that would be the end of the game. The Ray comes out, but they're going to have to make a grab of the Rainmaker, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to do that.
They're playing keep away. They're puppy guarding. No, that's all you gotta do at the end of the game. There, good awareness to be like, wait. We don't have to pick this up. We don't have to pick this up. Just let it reset. We're good. Ideally, you know, in a situation like that, what I like to see teams doing is just don't even pop it. Just leave it in the shield and like get the shield mostly your color, so that it's as much work as possible for the enemy team to even be able to pick it up. But yeah, I like the play there. You know, you've got your specials. You just sit in a safe, easy place, kind of like where you would defend the splat zone from in mid, and just wait for them to try and, you know, make a desperation push in to try and grab it. So 1-1, it's a close set so far. Shadow Squids taking that one, and Germanic Alliance taking the first. So Germanic Alliance, you know, if this holds, if they just win on their own counter picks, Germanic Alliance will be the one with counterpick advantage coming up to game 5 here. So that's something to keep in mind. If Shadow Squids wants to win, they're going to have to beat Germanic Alliance on one of Germanic Alliance's counterpicks.
Yeah, that's definitely a big deal here. But I think something that you can kind of think about with this format is, because there's only 4 modes, 4 ranked modes in the game, you kind of eventually are not really counterpicking to your strongest map. You're kind of counterpicking to your least bad map of a certain mode, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, here we go. Clan Blitz Makamart. This is gonna be a bloodbath. Every time we see this map, there's quick knockouts, quick wipes, and I don't think it's gonna be any different this time. Shadow Squids pulling out that 96 gal with the... that is not the armor one, actually. That's the wall and splashdown. Yeah, Locto's going to be on the junior for the armor this time.
Yeah, that 96 in particular plays a little bit more of the K52 sort of play style, where you use the wall and then slowly walk forward, which is great for the weapon. It's just it also comes with splashdown, so you don't see it very often for that reason. So a 2-for-1 trade there, you know, not really going solidly in either team's favor. The paint is still just a battle line in mid. But we have some clams collected now on the side of Shadow Squids. They do have potential to put points on the board if they're able to get something going here. But all they've got right now is a splashdown, so we're not going to see that just yet.
Yeah, here we go. Luna over on that left side, able to get a very nice pick with that 52 gal. That Inkjet coming out means this push is going to be a little bit slowed down because they're going to recall in just a moment here. Luna trying to make something happen, but Germanic Alliance doesn't have too many claims on the board just yet. Here we go. Inkjet over on that right side is not going to be taken. It is able to get taken out, but still 19 claims, but not a single power on the board for Germanic Alliance. So despite them winning this fight, no points on the board just yet.
Yeah, definitely, you know, a little bit slow on getting forward for the clam push. They focused more on the picks there, and you can see it on the scoreboard here, right? They won so many fights over and only get a power clam, and then they have to back up.
Yeah, just that one power clam in is not going to be much of a push. You give the opponent just enough clams to take that back with the pity clam. The missiles come out, and two members actually drop over onto this right side from Germanic Alliance, and this could be really big. This Inkjet coming out, I feel like you don't really want to contest it at this point, and instead just, you know, trying to sneak around through that alley, and it looks like that's exactly what one of the members of Shadow Squids did. They do get the power clam in, they get two in, but with a 3-down situation and actually a team wipe, that could be bad news for Shadow Squids. Already a Germanic Alliance moving forward, taking the stacks and getting ready for this next push.
Yeah, we need to see Germanic Alliance capitalizing on that pretty quickly, because if they just let those points go unanswered here, that might be a worthwhile push for Shadow Squids. But if they're able to Germanic Alliance is able to come back and apply pressure right away and use those specials and have the clams ready to go, this could be the lead going back the other way.
Absolutely.
Getting up in their base here on the flank position. Can they get more clams in? They do have a power jumping in as well. This is a big push here for Germanic Alliance, but again, all going down. So can Shadow Squids do the same thing back? Can they take that momentum from getting the full team wipe, get a whole bunch of clams, have specials ready, and put in even more points on the other side of the map?
Yeah, we see multiple members of Shadow Squids over on that right side, and Locto's backing up a lot actually, which I think is a little bit awkward here because you're kind of giving up a lot of ground as the weapon that paints the most in the team. Random trying to move up onto that right stack and make something happen with those missiles coming out, and yeah, that Booyah is going to shut things down. Overall, it looks like Germanic Alliance is coming out on top of this situation here.
Yeah, not an awful lot of support in that fight from Shadow Squids. They collapsed on a good 2v1, but then the entire rest of Germanic Alliance was there, and nobody was there for Shadow Squids otherwise. So Fantasy kind of trying to initiate there, going in and just trading in a 1-for-1.
Yeah, definitely a bit of an awkward situation there. It looks like actually Fantasy over on that right stack is going to get two really nice picks, and they're going to set up for a jump from that power clam. Here it comes. The power clams coming in. They do get taken out, but they have a lot more clams to toss in. 35, only a couple point different on the board, and Shadow Squids is going to be able to take the lead. Fantasy tossing in a couple more. There's so many clams in front of the basket. Live is trying to get as many as they can in before they get taken out. Shadow Squids is able to take the lead, and they're respawning pretty quickly, so they have a good opportunity to slow down this next push.
Yeah, I like that they didn't wipe there. I like that they still had two members up even after that push got shut down. That's going to make it so that they can get back a little bit easier on defense here, although one of them does go down early, so Germanic Alliance might be able to jump on this, might be able to capitalize. The armor goes out. They're picking up the pity here, looking for potentially a jump or at least to just run it in. 29 clams for Germanic Alliance. This is huge. That's game-ending points right there if they get all of those in, but not those ones. Those 6 are going to go down as the player falls. Red trying to force their way in. They don't have the zone control there though yet. Fantasy able to pick them off, and the splashdown going to go down on top to paint up a little bit and prevent them from getting close.
Oh, this wall is going to be so brutal as well. They're unable to dive for the ball, and that means that Shadow Squids is going to come out on top of this one and hold that terrifying last push.
Yeah, you know, on that particular map mode, you see 70-80 pushes all the time, 70-80 point pushes. Yeah. It's it's such a brutal lockout because you have so many different angles you can access the basket from. You need to worry about people throwing clams in from behind it, as well as in front of it, as well as to the left side of it, as well as over on the right side of it. Like, people have 360 access to the basket sometimes, so shutting that down on defense can be very difficult if you wipe, if you go down. But you know, both teams maybe a little bit hesitant to go in and try and take full advantage of that. You know, maybe sometimes they didn't have the clams to, maybe sometimes they didn't make the call to go as soon as a pick went down, but a little bit more subdued sometimes on the pushes there. Wasn't quite as wild as you can sometimes see. Let's see if that changes for Tower Control Anchovy here. The 2-1 now in favor of Shadow Squids. They've reclaimed the lead. That was on their counter pick, though. Again, they're going to have to break Germanic Alliance here on one of Germanic Alliance's counter picks. Am I right about? No, that was Shadow Squids'. That was Germanic Alliance's counter pick, I think. Shadow Squids won game 2, so I've got that backwards. They did get the break they need. They now have counter pick advantage, so that's huge for them.
Yeah, definitely. We do see the return of that E-Leader. I think this is a really nice map for it. Really large, kind of open middle area. This E-Leader is going to be slowing down a lot of the momentum Germanic Alliance wants to put forward. And yeah, you see the Soda Slosher kind of stuck in this area here. This is like the awkward position where everyone who wants to be aggro just kind of waits there. And eventually you kind of figure out that if you're there for more than a few seconds, if things are not going to get any better. And you need to, that's like your cue to rotate. And already Shadow Squid's putting out a lot of pressure here, trying to get onto the enemy plat. One of the members, the K-Shot's going to get taken out, but the tower nonetheless is going to roll into the first checkpoint.
Yeah, Fantasy getting a pick, but then going for another one right away and just running straight smack dab into the Jet Squelcher. I'd almost like to see them getting a pick and then playing a little bit more patient afterwards, because a lot of the time they're running into fights that they aren't going to win off of that first pick. Might be, you know, better to have the numbers advantage, to have the paints for somebody else to start a fight from there. But they're doing a great job finding good first initiations, and they're using those missiles very aggressively to get in there and get picks going. Ray coming out to try and stop this. The Inkjet nails it, though. Live with a beautiful clutch shot there. They probably go down off of this jump, though, because there's no one there to protect it. So push to 22 is huge for Shadow Squids. That can absolutely be a winning push on this map. But Germanic Alliance still has 3 minutes left. Absolutely anything could happen. The Charger is going to make life difficult up on the fan there. Very aggressive advanced position, trying to hold them back from even being able to retake mid off of this defense.
Yeah, we can already see like that this is going to be a very difficult time for Shadow Squid, or sorry, for Germanic Alliance to get back in. The E-Leader playing very kind of evasive. Yep, we already see them shutting down the member on the fan there. Luna trying to make something happen on their own here. But yeah, they are actually able to get a pick and able to sneak by that wall there. You can kind of see how aggressive players like to hug the wall. So people have to kind of poke their head over the edge if they want to challenge them. And that creates some really some really good positions that are far up for aggressive players. Now we see Shadow Squids backed up onto their plat. The Sea Leader is going to make easy work of that. That's a non-stealth jump and another member. Those are two gigantic picks. There's one member over on that right side from Germanic Alliance, but the E-Leader is going to focus on keeping members locked in their spawn, not even coming close to mid.
Huge punishment there for positioning a little carelessly in mid. You know, with such a big long plat on this map, a player like an E-Leader just has all of the angles that they could possibly want to peek around cover. You have to be so careful pushing in. You need to put some kind of pressure on them, maybe missile them or something, just to get them to have to move before you try and make any plays through that wide open mid area.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, you know, people kind of use like missiles as your button to deal with long-range weapons, and that's a lot of the reason I think we haven't seen much Charger recently. But nonetheless, I think there's a lot of ways you can kind of mitigate the effect of missiles and like those long-range specials just by your positioning, and it seems like Shadow Squid's doing a good job of that.
Yeah, you know, missiles by themselves absolutely not going to do it, and it really needs to be a coordinated push from your team to keep applying pressure in combination with the missiles. Oh, Fantasy getting locked up there in the corner, just no paint at their feet, but Random once again. This has been a huge game for them on the E-Leader here, having an impact not just in terms of zone control, but also in terms of actually landing those picks. They have been catching Germanic Alliance mispositioning here and there. Fantasy gets another great pick and is up on the plat. Might get forced back here. Does have missiles to try and push their way in, but they are not on the tower at the moment. They really don't need to push it at the moment. They have 20 seconds left. Honestly, pushing the tower at this point might just be putting them at a disadvantage they don't want to be at. Maybe just try and hold mid here and, you know, save your specials and try and take a power position. Great pick there for Germanic Alliance. That's one down. They're not going to have armor to defend against this for now.
Yeah, that's a really big pick. They did use their special a little early. Yeah, is that one on the flank? Yes, it was one on the flank, but Germanic Alliance is able to turn around in time. This rain is going to be really huge and slow down that tower, but EST is going to be able to defend it a little better. 2 members down on the side of Shadow Squids. This E-Leader is going to find themselves up on that wall, and they're going to have to back up. This is do or die for Germanic Alliance. Here they go, all pushing into that office. They need to be careful, because I think we have one member of them was sneaking around from that office to that tower. They all focused the left side, but there was a member still in the office on that right side, and that means Shadow Squids is going to take it 3-1, and that will put them in grands. So really strong showing from Shadow Squids there.
Yeah, I love how clutch Random came in with the E-Leader there. We've been talking about them a lot. But Live also with some crucial picks. You know, they were the one who took out the Ray to prevent the push from being stopped on their way in. That was massive for the rest of the game. That allowed the push to go on for a lot longer than it would have otherwise, and would have been a lot closer at the end there if not for that push extending as far as it did. And Fantasy, of course, fragging quite a bit at the end there. So, you know, credits to all of the members on the team of Shadow Squids there for showing up and taking that match against some very capable opponents in Germanic Alliance.
Yeah, really, really well played overall. We definitely saw a lot of kind of smart, aggressive play coming out on both sides there. We see, like on zones, for example, we saw Germanic Alliance doing a great job kind of holding Shadow Squids back and camping the plat, getting a couple of very nice multi-kills there. And yeah, from there, it seemed like Shadow Squids really adapted and were able to get the picks they need and turn the momentum in their favor.
Yeah, the Splat Zones match, you know, felt kind of night and day for Germanic Alliance. They totally had a plan for how to handle all of the aggression that was coming out from Shadow Squids. I think, you know, weapon 1v1s might have come into play there. It's really hard, for example, to fight something like a 52 gal with a shot, or to try and beat a tri-slosher in the 1v1 and not trade. And lots of good positions for Germanic Alliance to be able to take that they abused there. But the, you know, ability to keep a push going, the momentum that Shadow Squids was able to build helped a lot, especially in like the Clamblitz matchup. And they were able to really kind of take every scoring push that they got and press it just a little bit further on offense than we were able to see from Germanic Alliance from there on out.
Absolutely. We saw kind of just like a lot of really great control coming out from Shadow Squids. They knew when to play offense and they knew when to play defense. And yeah, that was just a really great showing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So going forward, you know, again, Germanic Alliance is not out of the tournaments. They are in a relatively comfy position. They're guaranteed third place with a loss in winners finals. So they will be waiting in the losers brackets for an opportunity to potentially rematch against the Shadow Squids here. But Shadow Squids secured themselves a spot in Grands, guaranteed second place. They're going to be sitting pretty but they're also going to be sitting for a little while because we've got a whole bunch more Splatoon that has left to be played before we can know who is going to be in grand finals up against Shadow Squids.
Yeah.
What's your call here? Do you think Shadow Squids hold on? Do you think that they win the tournament? What's your prediction?
I think they do. They've really kind of come out strong. I saw them yesterday and I saw them today, and I think the way they're playing together looks like they're going to come out on top here. It looks like overall, it looks like Germanic Alliance is going to be dropping into losers finals and going to be playing the winner of Seaya and the winner of Splatalot A and Absolute Zero. So among those teams, I think Germanic Alliance still has a really good shot of coming out second and coming back for the rematch.
Mm-hmm. They already beat Seaya, albeit, with a DC, but I think they put up enough of a fight to show that they could do it again if they needed to. Mm-hmm. So we might well see the rematch, but that will be for some other casters to talk about at the time. This is going to be it for our Block Together Fusion. So, as always, it has been a pleasure. But this is going to be me, Gem, and I think Fusion as well, signing off for the time being.
Yep. Thank you guys, and enjoy the rest of the cast.
Don't go anywhere. Shadow Squids beats Germanic Alliance 3-1 in winners finals. We'll be back with losers shortly.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Little Squid League 20. My name is Falco Flyer and I am joined here by with Brush. I guess I'm joined by you too. Either way, hello Brush, how are you?
I'm doing great, Falco. Really excited here to jump into this set. Absolute Zero versus Seaya, duking it out for the losers semis. I was looking back at standings for yesterday's Swiss. Little Squid League almost always a group format, round robin groups, but today or this tournament for LSL 20 here, having Swiss is, I think, changing a little bit of the dynamic here. Seaya, a team that went 5-1 in the same spot as Absolute Zero, who were 3-3, barely clinching top cut in 15th place.
Yeah, and hey, seeing both of these teams in the loser semis is quite amazing. I mean, both of these teams have had a wonderful run so far, and we know they don't want to give up their dreams yet of potentially winning LSL 20, which, by the way, the prize pool for this tournament is absolutely amazing at $400, and we are super excited that we can get this match started pretty shortly. We're going to be starting off with Splat Zone's Piranha Pit, one of my favorite map modes that we have. Even though I'm not a big fan of split zones, I tend to enjoy this one a little more.
Yeah, one of the things I find really interesting about Piranha Pit for a dual zone map is that it kind of forces you to play around it differently. I mean, you look at the Reef and that being dual zone, it often, I feel like, ends up just being the same as how you would set up for tower control, for example. But here, I mean, you're forced to be constantly watching these drops, watching through mid, not wanting anyone to kind of catch you off guard. So these two teams really got to focus and make sure that they're not getting caught off guard.
Yeah, and as we see the opening start here, we're going to have, it looks like just an end zap on both teams. I was going to say, it looks like we had quite a similar comp, but no, they're actually pretty different. I do like the roller choice from the side of Absolute Zero, but one of the players is going to go down pretty early from Seaya's. Absolute Zero, they're doing a really good job getting some map control as they do have a player advantage, but not able to cap just yet. They are going to be pushing forward, but now they are at a player disadvantage, so it seems like a very early missed opportunity to try and cap. And right now, I mean, Seaya, they're doing some good work trying to get some of these picks and taking the zone.
Yeah, one of the things you're going to notice is that these two teams are not strictly going to be able to survive off of these picks. One of the things I love about Little Squid League is that we see these coordinated special pushes just get stopped by one little player on the side. So even though we saw two specials come out from Seaya, I mean, one player of theirs went down early and Absolute Zero was able to take advantage. But again, not before Seaya ultimately ended up in control.
Yeah, and I mean, now Absolute Zero, we know they're coming in hot. They're coming in trying to break down this Booyah Bomb, getting 3 players down and breaking into this zone, and now being able to cap it. So that's going to be good, giving 30 penalty points to Seaya. And I mean, this is one of those maps and modes, it can really just change at the click of a button. As what now we see Absolute Zero trying to push forward, using their Inkjet, locking out members of Seaya as they're trying to break in. This might be enough for them to take the lead, but unfortunately, they're not able to get any picks just yet. But look, they're all kind of guarding that left side of the ramp, but now we have 2 players moving towards the other side, but that's going to be enough for Absolute Zero to take the lead.
Specials are ready for Absolute Zero. We're going to see the armor and missiles come online. That's going to stop Seaya from pushing in quite yet, but with an Inkjet ready and now online, it's going to be difficult. Oh, but a nice bubble combo there by Park is going to find a pick. That's going to mean that just the Inkjet is up there, and another one from Park. That's going to allow them to hold the zone here as 30 ticks remain, 3 down in their favor. We are starting to approach knockout territory.
We are. That was absolutely incredible by Park. I mean, how often do you take down 2 different specials with your bubble? And taking down the Inkjet too, that's really incredible, because an Inkjet, they can move around the bubble, but they weren't able to do that at the time. Is this going to be a quick cap? But no, that's going to be 3 players down. Seaya's going to cap, giving 75 penalty points to Absolute Zero. That is the most penalty points you can get in this game.
Yeah, 75 penalty points, but you gotta get a KO now. I mean, Seaya cannot win this game unless that timer hits 0. Their penalty points are gonna tick down, but their goal now is get strong positioning, make sure they're not getting picked, and make sure they're holding these specials, and they can't pop them too early here.
It's going to be really important for Seaya to kind of just lock in and identify where these Absolute Zero members are, because if they get any penalty points, it's going to be really hard for them to come back. Right now, they got already down to 38. They hold on to the zone, so this is actually looking really good. Absolute Zero doing everything they possibly can just to get 1 cap for now, so they can stall and hold on to the zone, giving a lot of penalty points to Seaya, but it's not working. So far, Seaya's still holding on.
Trades support the defender, and Seaya is doing a great job trading. None of them going down early, but they gotta hold on to this zone, and they're barely gonna do just that. Missiles nearly ending their game early. 4v2 situation, though, in Seaya's favor. They're gonna end up pushing up here. Luna finding a nice pick there. That's gonna allow them to cap the zone, and with 13 ticks remaining, and only the foil flings a line for Absolute Zero, they need to make a move off of this respawn, or Seaya is gonna win this game off of the 1-point meme.
The 1-point meme. Oh my goodness. That lockout, that wipe at the end for Seaya was absolutely crucial. That gave them the win. That said, hey, we need to group up. We need to identify where these Absolute Zero members are dropping in, and we need to take them out one by one so they can't build up their specials. They can't throw a Booyah. They can't do anything to stall this zone, because if they do, that is going to mess up our game. But man, Seaya, they've got to be real happy about that win.
Yeah, I mean, it looked... obviously, you're so excited to get in this win in loser semis. You're 1 game closer to getting that grand finals spot. I mean, but it felt so calm from where I was. It felt like Seaya knew exactly where every single Absolute Zero member would drop, and they used that information and they stayed calm, and with it, able to just bang, 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 as you said, keep an eye on your Absolute Zero and find those picks.
Well, if we saw a game where things can turn at the click of a button, let's look at this next map and mode that they chose on their counter pick. We have Rainmaker, Black Belly Skate Park. Will we see a Stingray? I'm gonna guess so. I like this one, and I like this choice too. They're like, hey, we had a pretty chaotic, but like you mentioned, calm first match. You know, I kind of sense the calmness from the players as well. But if you want something that's going to be a little bit different, but maybe just as chaotic, this is the stage for it.
I mean, Splat Zone's a map where you're kind of can feel what's coming next. You know you're in a lockout. Okay, then they're going to push, and then they're going to hold. Rainmaker is not the same way. I think you were alluding to there. A game that can switch at the click of the button, as you said, and these 2 teams know that. A counter pick from Absolute Zero that's going to help them out as they were struggling that last game to hold on to their push.
I think Seaya is using the same comp that they had been using in that first game, but we do see a few changes. You see the C-Jet on the side of Absolute Zero, and that switch to the K-Shot as well. So yeah, I mean, right now there's going to be an early flank from the Knot, so wonderful pick taking down the Stingray as 2 players are down, unfortunately for Seaya, but Absolute Zero trying to find where they can make a break for it, and we do see a 1v1 with, it looks like the T-Tech winning that one, kind of getting ready, waiting for some members to drop in, but nobody's eager to pick up this Rainmaker because it's just kind of been a stalemate.
Elvin with that Nautilus flank. I mean, that's what you got to be looking for. I talked about that last game where a little bit of a flank can end it early, and Seaya almost had that opportunity there as Elvin with the Nautilus flank to run that right side and have 2 picks.
And now, I mean, now Seaya looks like they're in a position where they could potentially pick up the Rainmaker and push it just a little bit forward, but they're not going to be doing it quite yet. We're about a minute in without them picking up the Rainmaker. They do have more map control, but I think they're trying to figure out, okay, like we really need to make sure that nobody is going to get close, because if we make a push, we want to make it be a good push. But it's going to be hard because they do see that Ray is going to be ready there for the side of Absolute Zero. So again, I don't blame them for not trying to pick up the Rainmaker just yet, but a minute and a half in and still no Rainmaker pickup.
Minute and a half in, and there's only 5 KA for the side of Absolute Zero, 4 on Seaya. I mean, it's trades and it's picks and it's staying calm. And with these two, I mean, the missiles and Ray have been ready forever. And Vimo X is gonna put a stop to that, finding a pick on Tar, but then going down themselves. A 2v3 situation now with special advantage in Absolute Zero's favor. These teams are getting antsy, but neither of them can find an opportunity to push, maybe until right now.
Yeah, I mean, this has to be the opportunity where they pick it up. 3 players down, no other choice to do it. Seaya now making quick work with the support of the Inkjet, trying to push towards the right side, but they are going to be chased down, it looks like, from the NZAP player. 2v2, Rainmaker trying to stay alive, getting to 47. I mean, I would say that's a good push, but that's the only push that we have seen so far, and now just a not alive. Absolute Zero going to try and paint up and push up just a little bit more, and able to take down the not. Very, very good pick, finding them trying to sneak around, and yeah, we're about halfway through with time remaining, but the Rainmaker's finally going to reset. And I mean, this map is literally split in half between blue and green on one side and the other side.
This Ray is going to come out hoping to displace a couple members, but with 1 player down, Absolute Zero is going to struggle to find an opportunity in a flank on the far right side, and might catch the Seajet off guard, but they're going to, Elvin is going to go down there on the Nautilus. That leaves an advantage in Absolute Zero's favor as armor and missiles come online. They're looking for an opportunity. Vimo X forced far to the left side. Dex playing super aggressively on that right. That's where the Rainmaker is going to want to move here as Park picks it up and looks for an opportunity.
Yeah, Park is going to be picking it up, but with that, you won't have the support of the Ray, but they are quickly going to go down. And now Absolute Zero doing a good job, but it's just Dex who's alive. It's just Dex who's there, who's pushing back just a little bit more, saying, hey, I need to retreat in case they're going to get this pop. They're likely going to get the pop, and they know that Seaya wants to get a better push than 47 because, again, no lead is safe in this game.
Yeah, I mean, my muscle memory as a commentator after that first push there was like, look, it's Rainmaker. Anything can happen, but we're 4 minutes into the game. I mean, it's been such a stalemate. 47 is not a push you're happy with in any Rainmaker map. Never mind Black Belly.
Yeah, and now Absolute Zero, they have the Rainmaker trying to spot some of these players, able to get 2, but going to have to be fighting this Inkjet. Can they avoid the missiles as well? No, they are going to go down, getting to 58. It's just going to be the K-Shot who's alive, but is now going to have to back up and is now going to go down. T-Tech doing a good job, but unfortunately also going to go down. So this is going to have to be Seaya's response to make sure that Absolute Zero doesn't push this Rainmaker any further.
Vimo X looking for any opportunity to hold off. They can't let Absolute Zero move in. You get past that ramp and you lose. Oh, but a nice pick from Park, and that might be all they need to get moving.
That's right, they are going to try and push forward, but look, they have a few players that are down. The Rainmaker's going to reset. This is definitely going to help Seaya as they are able to have a little more time to regroup. That's going to be a pretty quick pop by Absolute Zero, but they're going to have to build their specials once again. They're going to be using armor, and it looks like Wolfie's going to be trying to take it up the side, and Park is going to follow suit, going up the side as well. Wolfie going in a little early and in front of a few players, and it's going to go down, and that's going to be the Rainmaker going down too.
Dex needs to pick up quickly, otherwise this game ends, and they are going to have the opportunity, but Elvin off of that respawn, finding the picks they need and ending that match. A push of 47 wins a game of Rainmaker. That's a news-breaking headline right there.
That certainly is, especially when you pretty much just had 2 carries the entire game. One of them was about 2 minutes in, and the other maybe a minute after that. That was such a defensive game of Rainmaker. I think both teams knew how game 1 went, and they were saying, okay, we can't really do anything crazy here. We don't want to do anything too weird. But hey, since that was loser semis, that's actually going to be it for that round, with Seaya moving on to the losers finals, where they're going to face Germanic Alliance. So I mean, just a very quick and different pace than what we have seen earlier, but that's what happens in the losers bracket. It's a make it or break it. Everything kind of counts. So congratulations to Seaya for moving on, and Absolute Zero, nice try. And it was hard. I mean, especially being 1 point memed in that first game, and then having such a hard game to come back from. But yeah, go on.
That first match, I mean, we're watching the replay here, but 2 pushes to 1 and 0 respectively. Super competitive stuff. And it's this slow train, this slow moving towards losers finals and ultimately into grands. And when you're coming from the losers brackets, I mean, there is no time for sleep. As we talk right now, Seaya hopping into a lobby here, getting ready to face Germanic Alliance, a strong team in their own right.
Yeah, I mean, Germanic Alliance, let's see, they because they got knocked out in the set that we had watched prior, losing to Shadow Squids 3-1. So again, this since this is going to be the losers finals, this will actually be a best of 5. So it's going to be a little different than what we had seen before. But again, both of these teams or they're getting ready to play to eventually play the winner of the winners bracket, which was Shadow Squids.
And it's such a grueling process coming from losers. I mean, never mind having to win here in this best of 5, playing extra, what is it, 3 or 4 sets, depending how long you've been in losers. You then have to get a full bracket reset in grand finals. It's something we see on these streams all the time, but take for granted. I mean, it is really a grueling and tiring process to be coming up from the losers bracket.
It is, and especially when a tournament that's 2 days. I mean, you've been playing for a few hours yesterday, you've been playing for a few hours today, and I think kind of the mentality of being in the losers bracket, that's going to be a make it or break it moment. You know, you can't really sacrifice anything, but we do have word that we will be moving in directly into our losers finals match, which again will be Seaya versus Germanic Alliance. So this is going to be a good set, and again, it's going to be best of 5 rather than a best of 3.
Welcome back to Little Squid League 20. I am Brush. Joining me is Falco. Not long ago, we were talking at you about the set we're going into here, losers finals, Germanic Alliance versus Seaya. How you feeling about it, Falco?
Yeah, you know, I'm feeling pretty good. It's gonna be hard for, or it's actually, I feel like if you're Seaya, you're gonna be ready for this, because you had 2 drastically different games that you just played in the loser semis. You had that Piranha Pit Zones game where you came back from the 1 point meme to get the KO, and then you just played a very, very defensive Rainmaker Black Belly game. So that they kind of, I feel like, prepared themselves for the situation, and knowing that, okay, we have a little more opportunity that we can give it being a best of 5 rather than a best of 3. But you're against a team who's clearly proven that they deserve to be here as a finalist in the losers bracket too. So starting off with Splat Zones on Sturgeon Shipyard, I mean, I feel like we've seen this map mode earlier today, and just Chargers and Splatlangs, I feel like they're going to thrive.
Yeah, I was talking a minute ago about the grueling process of this losers final, and the good news is that these teams do have something to look forward to. This counts as a 3rd place match, as it is losers finals, and so winner here gets $60. I mean, we're fortunate that low level is starting to see these prize pool tournaments, and what was it, $400 prize pool overall?
Yeah.
And still, 500, and still 3rd place match here is going to find $60. So obviously you want to get for that, you want to go for that big number 1 prize, but someone here is going home with money.
That's right. Once again, Seaya coming out with that same comp that we had seen earlier, and I do like the slosher pick from Goose there. Being able to kind of get up on these ledges and hide and get some picks is going to be really nice, as now they're going to be just fighting. Nobody really wants to get on the zone quite yet, but it looks like some members from Seaya are. Goose going to be trying to go up this ledge here, trying to be sneaky about it, but it's going to be hard not to be seen. But the Knot's going to be dropping down, trying to identify where they are, but unable to get the pick, and now they're going to have to retreat just a little bit, but Seaya doing a really good job getting some map control.
Yeah, but I mean, 70 ticks have ticked down despite the fact that there have been 0 picks on the field, and there's going to be your first 2 going to Seaya, who are going to be able to continue to hold the zone. It would have been painful to be Seaya there and not find those picks, and finding a 3 down, just the V-Jet jumping out, and Seaya has been set up for an excellent push.
They absolutely have. They had the zone. They're able to push forward. They have players split on all sides. They're now painting on all areas around the zone, but they are going to have to retreat just a little bit as they are missiled. But they still are able to hold on to the zone as they are now going to try and come back. They have armor at their ready and those specials ready for the side of Germanic Alliance. So this is looking really good for Seaya as Vimo is going to be throwing down the Booyah Bomb, getting a pick in the way. Now Seaya going to be doing everything they possibly can to hold on to the zone. Is this going to be one push KO? It is.
So we watched the last set, right? Seaya versus Absolute Zero. Absolute Zero had a hold to 1 point. Seaya walked in and held it into the KO. I guess if you can't get the first cap, Seaya just holds the zone anyway. We're in a counterpick format, so I don't believe Seaya gets to go back to splat zones. But I mean, Germanic Alliance, you have to understand how to counterpick here to stay in this tournament.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is these two teams, they did play each other in the winner's semi. You know who won 3-0? Germanic Alliance. So, I mean, now we have just like a different, this is a whole new set. It doesn't matter what happened before. They're meeting now in the losers finals. And Germanic Alliance, they've got to be feeling a certain way, like, uh-oh, the team we 3-0'd, they just one push KO'd us. And now we have these counter picks that Seaya might be a little more comfortable with. It's going to be pretty tricky for them, but I mean, good job for Seaya to getting that win. And Germanic Alliance, they're going to have to be really thinking about what they want to choose for this game too.
You come back and you come back hungry. Germanic Alliance has been sitting here for, what is it, 15 minutes now, 20 minutes now, waiting for Seaya to show up. And Seaya, who have been grinding it out in this loser's bracket, they are warm, they are hungry, and they are ready. And that shows when you come out, you get the first cap, and you never let go. And that's going to show in no matter what map mode we go to here. Germanic Alliance allowed to counterpick any map mode right now because they have not won yet. And part of me wants to say that no matter what Germanic Alliance picks, Seaya is going to come out hungry and ready, and it's going to be such an uphill battle despite having that 3-0 victory from yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. And there, it looks like they are going to be choosing Splat Zone's Piranha Pit, where we know what happened to Seaya avoiding the getting the 1 point meme win. So something tells me we won't see that exact same thing, but I would be absolutely amazed if they could pull off something similar to what they did in game 1. But we know that they need to lock out quickly and lock out early to avoid Germanic Alliance making a great push and capping the zone for a very long time. But I mean, for Seaya's comp, we've seen them not really change anything for any of the games that they've played, and honestly, I don't really think they need to change much. I mean, I think the Knot is going to be viable, K-Gal, of course, you know, then you have your N-Zap, and their weapon choices seem to have been really working for them so far.
Yeah, it's an interesting counter pick for Germanic Alliance to stay on splat zones. Maybe they just want to win this one and get it out from the pool completely. You can't go back to it. But I mean, we'll have to see it play out here. Comp-wise, we're going to see a Soda Slosher come out on the side of Germanic Alliance. Hopefully, I'm sure they're hoping that allows them to put some pressure onto those ramps where they might not have had it another way.
Yeah, and right now, players just kind of spreading out. It looks like, you know, I take my side, you take your side type of thing, but it looks like we do see the NZEP from Seaya trying to get a little bit of a flank pretty early on with the support of the Knot, and 2 players are going to go down for Germanic Alliance, as that's going to be really nice for Seaya as they're able to get some more paint, but now 2 more players are going to go down. So once again, this is looking very, very nice for Seaya as they're able to get a lot of map control so far and have a Booyah Bomb ready, but it looks like Germanic Alliance, they will have some missiles ready and armor ready when they are trying to push in, and all of them are trying to push over on this far right side using some of these missiles, throwing in the Booyah Bomb. Will this be enough for them to cap it? It's going to contest it, but it's looking much better for Germanic Alliance.
Split zone map is not going to let that happen so easily. Able to hold on to the zone is Seaya. Goose finding a trade there on the right side of the map, but trade supports the defender. And Seaya here with 40 ticks remaining, only a minute into this game, is completely dominant. And they're going to be able to continue to hold this zone until Germanic Alliance can find some picks.
That's right. Can they hold on to this for very long? Germanic Alliance trying to push in, but no, they keep not getting the player advantage as they have 2 players down. And we see more missiles pushing some of these more Germanic players out all the way towards useless over there. So that's looking really good because that's the only direction where they can come back in on this map. They can either jump back into spawn, which is going to take some time, or try and push forward here. But if Seaya can hold on to this and not let Germanic Alliance cap at all, it's going to be really nice. I say that as they get 67 penalty points, so Germanic Alliance on the board for the first time.
EST pushing through that Booyah is going to allow them to get the cap, and that'll allow them to hold a little bit longer. We're now going to have to watch. I mean, Germanic Alliance sees a very strong lockout. Getting down to 12 is difficult in its own right, but you have to KO against Seaya. You can't let them get another cap. And Luna with a nice double there and an assist on the third. That's going to make that happen like light work.
Exactly. Once you get those 3 players and you see that last person jump out, you know you've won the battle. And just like that, the tables have turned. Germanic Alliance able to hold on to this zone. Both teams now kind of building their specials, feeling about the map on where they can push in. And I mean, props to Seaya for really flanking and trying to paint more of useless as they are able to push in. They're going to be pushing in with the Booyah Bomb, pushing in with the Tenta missiles, pushing in with the Inkjet. But will it be enough for them to cap the zone? But it doesn't look like it. 3 players are going to go down. Now it's just the NZAP who's going to be scrambling up on the conveyor, going to be dropping in, able to get a pick. But this is looking really good for Germanic Alliance.
Yeah, they need to find the 4th here, or the 3rd if they want to be able to get the hold of that. They're going to be able to stall just long enough for Vimo X and their teammates to come back in. Luna now looking on the left side. They are going to find a cap, and that's going to allow them to hold the lead and hold in this game a little bit longer. Vimo X with another pick, a nice 52 gal 1v1 win as they're going to shark on that ramp area looking for anyone to push into mid, and they are going to punish. There's another 2 for Vimo X single-handedly staying in this game. But that play from the NZAP on Seaya, I mean, getting a nice one and holding in there, scrambling for the last 2 picks, and that's going to be your MVP play for this game.
Vimo X already at 9KA moving forward as they have the zone trickling down the penalty points. Germanic Alliance once again trying to find where they can push in, but all their specials are online. Let's see how well they can coordinate this. They're going to be using them 1, 2, 3, 4. Will this be enough for them to cap the zone to keep this match alive? It is. They are going to get the zone, but unfortunately not going to get many picks as only 1 player goes down, but 2 players are going to go down on Germanic Alliance. It's nice that they are able to cap, but how long are they going to hold on to the zone?
Advantage is still in Seaya's favor. I mean, you have to find picks, and you can't make it be a trade when you're trying to jump back in. And another player going down in Germanic Alliance. Seaya is able to cap this zone, and with 1 minute left, they're not going to get the flashy KO maybe. But this game, yeah, with the specials coming out and the way these picks are going, Seaya has been able to hold very nicely.
They have, and like you said, under a minute remaining. Now Germanic Alliance trying to push in once again as they are spotting these Seaya members, trying to push them out one by one. That's going to be enough for a cap, but remember, both of these teams have so many penalty points that they need to get through, so these lockouts are going to be absolutely crucial, especially for Germanic Alliance. Now they have the zone, and it looks like a few players from Seaya has now just respawned, so they're going to be working together. Look, they have to be bunched up because of how well Germanic Alliance was able to push forward. There's some toxic mist over on the side, so the Knot knows that they can't drop in. They're going to be using their Inkjet to try and push in and get some of these members to cap once again. And it looks like it might be enough, but the Booyah Bomb on the left side is going to contest. We have a counter Booyah Bomb from Seaya. Will this be enough for Germanic Alliance?
I don't know. Germanic Alliance needed to cap that zone, and it's not going to happen. Seaya understanding they only needed the neutral at the end, and that's going to win them the game. The missile Inkjet combo there. The Inkjet pulling you out of the zone, not allowing you to have the paint pressure, but enough to get some chip damage. And Seaya winning 2 Splat Zone games back-to-back. Germanic Alliance still on their counter pick.
Yeah, Seaya Alliance, and like you said, it's kind of a different pace in the game. You know, if you have the lead, hey, we just need the zone to be neutral. We can play a little differently. We don't need these big aggressive plays. We just need to play a little more conservatively. We're going to watch where these players drop in. We're not going to let them get too crazy with their specials, and that's exactly what Seaya did. They were a little more patient towards the end, and that is what gave them the win. So congratulations to them, as Seaya is now up 2-0. And remember, for Losers Finals, we are doing a best of 5. So Seaya looking to get one more win to move on to Grands, and Germanic Alliance looking to get this reverse sweep.
And we talk, like, the seed of doubt is planted for Germanic Alliance. I mean, they feel the pressure Seaya is putting on. They feel it. You come into the set feeling good. You're like, we beat them 3-0 earlier today. There's no way. Okay, well, they got Splatstone Surgeon, but there's no way on our counter pick with Splatstone's Piranha Pit. And Seaya coming out, dominating these holds, not letting them go down for free, making them trades every time, is making it very difficult for Germanic Alliance to hold any space.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, Seaya, it seems like both of these teams, they've kind of been going back and forth on their 1v1s, but Seaya, with kind of the special coordination and where they're using their specials, it seems to be really changing their game around, and that's what's making them do well. But now they got to be wondering what Germanic Alliance is going to be choosing as a counter pick, because, you know, if you counter pick with Splat Zones and that doesn't work and you lose in Splat Zones on the first game, I mean, these games have been close. It's not like Germanic Alliance has been completely out of it, but let's see if changing the mode for them will be maybe a blessing or something that they can maybe look forward to try and turn things around.
I mean, they're not gonna pick Splat Zones again. Like, they're not gonna do it, right?
Hey, I mean, we know commentators' curse is a real thing. We know they're not listening in, but we know if we say something, they're gonna do it. So we'll see. Theoretically, they could choose Splat Zone's Piranha Pit once again. There's nothing against the rules for that. But I mean, clearly they're taking their time choosing their counter pick, because they know, like, if we lose this game, we're out of it for good. So we want to try and get a map that we can be more competitive with, that we can maybe win these 1v1s, we can position ourselves better. And they're also probably thinking about, okay, what comps can we change? We know Seaya likely is not really going to change anything depending on the map and mode, because what they've been using really has been working so far.
We're gonna go to Clamblitz Mako Mart. A pick, hey, Red on Germanic Alliance has been playing that V-Jet. We saw the Slosher in that last game. Those are two weapons that are gonna have a fun time here on Mako Mart if they can make plays happen. They need their Slayers pushing up ahead to buy them space, so that way they can really take advantage of their weapons ranges.
What I'm looking for Germanic Alliance is extremely well coordinated pushes with a few flanks and throwing in these clams. You need to catch these Seaya members off guard, get the picks as you are scoring clams in the basket, and make them scramble just a little bit. I think if Germanic Alliance can make an opening statement and get a very strong opening push, they might do very well in this game.
That said, I mean, they need to be applying constant pressure. The way Seaya's been playing this so far is that when they get control, they hold it and they don't let you anywhere close. If you're Germanic Alliance, you need to be putting points on the board, and you need to be holding your own pressure. You need to keep that basket open when you're pushing, and you need to stop them from opening yours. And it's yes, that's how Clamblitz works, but it's so true when you have a team like Seaya just applying constant pressure, and it's going to win this game for either team.
Let's see if Germanic Alliance can turn things around, and let's take a look at their comp. They do make a few changes there, it looks like, and once again, Seaya choosing the same exact comp that they had before. So, I mean, again, like you mentioned, they need to open this strong. They need to do this very well and try and I don't know if they need to get the first power claim in. They need to score first, but they need to be the first one who makes a very good push.
Two players going on that right side. One of them going down for Germanic Alliance. That leaves Goose alone on the right and with the Tri-Slosher, and they're not going to be able to find a pick, opting to back up instead. It is Seaya who is pushing first, getting that ball in, and although missiles came online for Germanic Alliance, Seaya is not afraid. Booyah coming out, a 4v3 situation. They look to continue putting some pressure, and they're going to put in a couple clams to put in, but not before going down. And now Germanic Alliance looks like they're going to be able to hold off as the inkjet comes online for Seaya.
Yeah, so if you're Germanic Alliance, that's pretty good defense, only allowing Seaya to get to 21. Man, we do have a DC. It looks like the Knot from Seaya has DC'd during this game, and I believe right now they are still playing it out because Seaya has already DC'd in sets before, but now since it's a brand new set, they're going to do a quick KO, and we will likely be seeing this game once again.
Oh my gosh, Seaya's scaring me there. I think they're going to try to play out the 4v3. I mean, they've been playing well. I'm not so sure about that decision, but obviously opting to jump out there and get the quick KO. Seaya opening strong, but not as big as a push as they maybe would have wanted. That's going to be your difference in this second set, is if Seaya's going to be able to get the first push again, are they going to be able to do it in more dominating fashion?
Right, and we know that Seaya has had some DC issues. You know, back when we were talking about this set during winter semis, Germanic Alliance, they won that set because of 2 disconnects that happened earlier. So it's hard to get a full authentic set with these teams, but you know, we will have a replay of this game. But Seaya using their allowed DC for this set, no matter what happens, the games are going to have to play out from here on out, and you just hope that things can stay okay. And you know, I'll say fortunately this DC was early on in the game where no team kind of got their groove going too early, or had certain expectations or even things up their sleeves that they don't want to reveal quite yet. But you know, unfortunate to see a DC, but we will be seeing this game replayed.
I can't imagine losing that set earlier to a DC. You've been grinding your way through losers finals, only to play the same team that knocked you out because you disconnected. You're up 2-0, and it's coming back. The bug has found a way back into your room. The fly is flying around. The microwave going off, and it's so painful if you're Seaya to be in this situation. They want to knock out quick here. They don't want to deal with this. They really don't.
Absolutely, and we see that they are already up, and let's hope that everyone's connection stays the same or stays good as we can finish out this match. But yeah, let's see how these players spread out. And I mean, first of all, I love where all the claims spawn in this match. I don't think I've ever really analyzed where they are in the overview. So I mean, I just thought it was pretty cool. I don't know.
Who's playing this right side? Looking for an opportunity, but that's not going to happen. But the teammate coming in there, that's going to help out. Goose able to find a nice trade and force one other back. That's going to end up in a 3v2 situation with Germanic Alliance in advantage. But Seaya just the zap play in there and trying to play behind, looking for an opportunity. It's not going to happen. Germanic Alliance are the ones pushing here first, but they can't find an opportunity in just yet. They have the player advantage, but they don't have the specials, and those 2 balls make them targets.
Yeah, and those 2 power claims are going to want to spread out just a little bit. I know you want to work together, but man, you need to separate these Seaya members to try and make them focus on one player at a time. But we do see the Booyah Bomb coming up from the side, throwing it on the right stack as Red and EST now trying to push in. Well, both of these claims go in. Both of them are going to go in. So a wonderful 60 push for Germanic Alliance. Strong opening push. I said that is a team wipe. This is going to be really nice for Germanic Alliance. They want to throw in a bunch of claims, but they also want to prolong this basket. They don't want to throw in too many too early. They want to focus on getting these picks. That's going to be another power claim as they have 22 remaining. And now we do see Luna, the K-Gal, fighting there on the side as more of these claims are going in. 2 players down, 3 players down. It is just the K-Gal. But what a fantastic opening push for Germanic Alliance.
4 players trying to get rid of Luna there at the end. It's finally going to happen. But that distraction is going to buy Germanic Alliance time on this respawn. It was Goose. It was the Tri-Slosher for Germanic Alliance that opened it up. They're the ones who pushed top left and applied pressure on the snipe. And that's the aggression I was talking about. That's what you need. The constant pressure. You can't back up. You're going to get forced back on your stack well. You can't back out the other side anyway because Goose is already there to punish you. Seaya has to give a taste of Germanic Alliance's medicine if they want to stay in this game. 20 clams are ready for them.
They are trying to stay alive as they are fighting for mid, fighting to get some of these claims. But Germanic Alliance not being shy, able to push forward just a little bit and apply some of this pressure against Seaya. And now there are 2 players down on Seaya as members are trying to push up from Germanic Alliance, trying to control mid. They don't need to really form a power claim yet. They just want to get some of these claims that are at mid. They want to pick up 2 and 3 of these stacks so that they don't all respawn. And this is just a fight. This is just a fight for mid right now as Seaya trying to form some specials, trying to push forward, because they know if they need to make a push, or if they want to make a push, it's got to be a very, very big one.
A ton of clams ready for Seaya and a Booyah online, and Inkcheck coming out as well. The Booyah, Vimo X, looking for an opportunity. They're not going to find a pick with it, but that's 2 balls made for Seaya, and they're not going to find an opportunity in. Their missiles are ready. 33 clams and a pity clam waiting for them, and they can't find an opportunity in.
This is very, very crucial for Seaya to try and push forward. And look at all these members lumped up, 32 claims ready. 2 players down. This is going to be their opportunity to push forward. We see Luna going out the basket. 1 power claim in, 2 power claims in, 3 power claims in. Can they get more in? And it looks like one of the members over on the side there. It looks like the Knot trying to stay alive, keeping this basket open, doing a good job, able to get some claims in and able to jump out. Or can they get one more in? They do. Is that going to be enough for the penny jump? They get the penny jump. Oh, and it misses. So close. That would have taken the lead for them. Oh my goodness.
Such a wild play, trying to jump to the side so your ball has a better place to jump in. It doesn't quite work, but a 16-28 game with plenty of pity points on both sides and only 60 seconds remaining. This can be a 1 more push game, this can be a 0 push game, or this can be 8 more pushes. You never know with Clam Blitz, and it's gonna be a stalemate in mid as missiles come online for Seaya. That's gonna force Germanic Alliance around the map and go 1 down. That's Goose and the 52 gal down.
This is absolutely crazy for Seaya now. They're going to want to try and push forward to take this lead, and they bite with 2 players down, trying to take down this power claim. Ooh, throwing the suction bomb at the wall is going to take down the wall, but it looks like the power claim's still alive over there now on right stack. The Knot is pushed up 3 players down, just a Jet Cluster. They are going to score. This is looking very good for Seaya.
They don't have the clams to KO quite yet, but with the Zap's positioning there, it's looking good. They need 2 more clams to lead. There's your lead. 1 more clam will win it, and the Zap is not going to be in range. And I'm screaming because that's the difference. Germanic Alliance with 15 seconds into overtime might have an opportunity, but a flank around the side ends it, and Seaya is your grand finalist from a long loser's bracket haul.
Oh my goodness, Brush. This team has been through everything so far that we have seen in this tournament. They have come back from 1-point meme pushes. They have had so many disconnect issues and then crazy plays during Claim Blitz during that game. I love that jump to mid, jumping to the person who just got splatted, so you can jump and try and throw in 1 more claim, so somebody else with a power claim can try and jump to you to get the win. Imagine if that would have pulled off. That would have been absolutely crazy. I haven't seen anything like that. Congratulations to Seaya for having the coordination that they did and able to make such powerful pushes.
I want to point out, we talked about it earlier, Seaya got 3-0'd by Germanic Alliance in round 3 this morning. I mean, you look at a bracket and it's so hard to get any information because you sit there and you go, oh, Germanic Alliance, they 3-0'd Seaya this morning. They're obviously going to be your victors. But Seaya woke up. They played Boston Squid Party. They won 2-1. They went to absolute 0. They came back from that 1-point meme, as you said, 2-0. And here they are, Germanic Alliance, 3-0 after a little bit of DC, a painful reminder to this morning. And they're going to take this set. Germanic Alliance is walking home with money in their pockets in 3rd place. But Seaya has a bracket reset up ahead if they want to take this 1st place prize.
That's right. And I mean, like, it's going to be so great with seeing these 2 teams play. And I mean, if you're Seaya, anything is unpredictable. Anything that happens so far is, you just can't expect what's going to happen because they've been through everything. So trying to project and what's going to happen during this grand finals, it's going to be very hard to do. But they're looking forward to it. I can tell they're ready. I bet their voice chat is going insane too. I bet they've got to be feeling happy as they are going to be taking on Shadow Squids in, like you said, grand finals, which will be a best of 5.
Grand finals of Little Squid League 20 are right ahead. You're gonna watch Shadow Squids versus Seaya. I am Brush, with me is Falco. We will be right back. Alrighty, we're gonna move into your Little Squid League 20 Grand Finals here. We're watching Shadow Squids versus Seaya. I'm always fascinated, Falco, when you get to see two teams that have managed to avoid each other in every single round in a 2-day tournament. These teams did not see each other day 1. They have not seen each other yet day 2. And yet here we are in grand finals, your two best teams, assuming everything went well. And they're playing for the first time right now.
Yeah, I mean, during our break, we checked, like, hey, did these two teams play each other? And we're like, no, they did not. So, again, that kind of creates a storyline of we have no idea what to expect when these two teams go head-to-head. You know, you can kind of compare, like, opponents that they've had, and even there, it's hard to judge. But Shadow Squids, we know they have been waiting for a while to play a match. Seaya coming off some very, very clutch wins, still have the hype going around, and it's going to be very exciting for them.
Seaya, a team we've been watching through this losers bracket grind. I mean, we last spoke to you guys, and we were gushing about just all of the hills they've had to climb. Some crazy moments in these sets, and Shadow Squids has been watching there with us, or playing League, but with such a long wait in your grand finals, having played Germanic Alliance to earn this spot on their end. They know what they're going up against one way or another. They have seen Seaya's pain or triumphs, sorry, not pain. And they don't want that to happen to them. Shadow Squids have to come out here swinging if they want to stay.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, watching the Seaya team, if they've been watching the stream, they have no idea what to expect to kind of go into this game. You're watching a team that avoided a one push KO, and you saw what they had their sleeves up, or what was up their sleeves for Clam Blitz too. So just many opportunities for you to try and counter their wonderful pushes as well.
Yeah, maybe Shadow Squids shouldn't be counterpicking splat zones here, though. I mean, we've seen some crazy moments from Seaya. I'm a little bit. I mean, you gotta be smart with your counter picks. It is a best of 5 set here, and if Shadow Squids is able to take this first best of 5 as a bracket reset, so there's plenty of games up ahead if you're Shadow Squids, and plenty of time to not counter pick poorly.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Seaya is going to be wanting to try and think, okay, what are the stages that we can make these crazy moves, that we can do these crazy strategies on. And Shadow Squids, like you said, taking maybe more a conservative approach. They know that if we don't win this set, there's going to be a bracket reset. But once again, we've been playing all day. Both of these teams are likely very exhausted. And if you're Shadow Squids, again, you haven't really been playing in the last 30 minutes or so because you have been trying to wait for these losers rounds to finish up. But you also know that, hey, I haven't lost a set yet. Our team, we haven't lost. We know we deserve to be here in these grand finals, and especially with Little Squid League 20 and having a wonderful prize pool on the line, both of these teams have got to be very excited.
Yeah, and it's a prize pool that's not only in our gold top cut bracket here. We've been lucky enough to see Silver Bracket have prize pool money of their own, and that is a bracket that has gone to Ewfish 3-2 in a grand finals of their own against Bamboo Dragons. So they're walking away with money, and they haven't even been on stream today. They've been grinding their way through the Silver Bracket, playing hard, playing well, and they're going to get to go home with money as well, something we don't get to see in every esport.
Yeah, and that's really nice when we can kind of throw money towards the brackets that aren't necessarily the top bracket. But like you said, Ewfish winning that set against Bamboo Dragons 3-2, so that game going all the way to Game 5. So both of those teams taking money and walking away feeling good and knowing that they tried their best and did very well. I mean, you make it to any bracket, honestly, to the finals. That always shows how dedicated your team is and how well you can play together.
But here we are, in our LSL 20 top cut. The pressure is on. If you're Seaya, you've been seen on stream for 3 rounds now. If you're Shadow Squids, it's the first time you've been seen in a while here. And you're walking away with money no matter what today. So the added pressure of LSL 20, maybe that's gonna help him out, but you want that W. You want to say you won LSL 20. You want to walk home with the extra cash from that first place. And we're gonna have a close fight battle here as we move soon. We're going to be opening up our grand finals bracket here with Splat Zones on Mako Mart. Splat Zones, a map we've seen Seaya dominate in, a mode we've seen Seaya dominate, and Mako Mart, a map we just saw them win on Clan Blitz.
Yeah, so they're no stranger to this stage. I mean, some things are going to be a little different, but you talk about the final destination stage of Splatoon 2. This is it. So let's get started with our grand finals of Little Squid League 20. Let's do it.
We're going to see Loctos there on the left side getting the quick armor with that junior. That's the first junior we've seen in a while. Seaya not change their comp from what we've seen so far. You're going to see those one tricks come out and play their weapons hard, and Luna with the missiles there early. They're going to be able to find a pick on their side, and with the missiles online and very quick armor from Seaya, they're the ones who are going to get the first push despite getting the second cap.
Yeah, so that's going to be a really early lock-in for Seaya as they're trying to push some of these members out, but they do have a Booyah Bomb ready, trying to displace one of the E-leader, which is exactly what you want to do with a Booyah Bomb. You want to use your specials to kind of move them, put them in uncomfortable positions, and that's going to be enough time for Shadow Squids to cap for just a little bit, but now they're going to be getting it once again, but with a few players down, so this probably won't last very long as Seaya and team, as their whole team's going to be trying to push forward once again, and they're doing a good job just kind of spreading out, and no team is really getting themselves in 1v1s.
Shadow Squids kind of throwing themselves at Seaya there. That's going to get punished adeptly as Seaya is now the one to be able to continue to hold his own there. Penalty points gone, and they're going to pop this Bia maybe a little bit early, but Shadow Squids looking to pop specials of their own, and now the Bia is going to be able to throw out at in a well-placed spot in time. Live, no pushing up with that inkjet. Maybe a little bit panicked there. Not going to find a pick instantly, but there you go. You can find one of them, Luna, and another one on Vimo X, and suddenly you're the ones that control. A very ballsy play from them, but it'll pay off and they're going to be able to get the cap.
Live staying alive for much longer than they probably thought they would. Able to do wonderful work with the inkjet, and that's going to be really nice for Shadow Squids as they might be able to take the lead. But it looks like Seaya able to get a few picks and now cap the zone. Wonderful inkjet move by the Knot as now members of Seaya able to push forward once again. And I mean, they're doing a good job just trying to locate some of these Shadow Squid members as we see the E-leader trying to get themselves back in a comfortable position. But it's going to be very, very tricky when you have a few players from Seaya who are so far pushed up, especially on that left side, and that's going to be enough for Seaya to take the lead.
Random with that E-leader looking for an opportunity, but going one down, and now they don't have as much aggression. You need the K-shot needs to play more supportively. That your T-Tech is your Slayer, and the inkjet battles from the sky have been fun to watch, but it's making it difficult for Shadow Squids to hold control. It's just Loctos in zone looking to pain, and they're doing a very good job stalling, but they're gonna have to back up eventually here.
Yeah, they are going to have to back up eventually because Seaya, they are all over this map. They are pushing up the right side. They are pushing up the left side. Shadow Squids now trying to find any opportunity they can to try and catch these flanks, taking advantage of this player's advantage to try and cap, and it looks like they do, giving 52 penalty points to Seaya, so that's going to be very nice. But Shadow Squids still trying to make sure that none of these Seaya members are able to break in. They do have quite a bit of map control, which is going to help, but we do see a Booyah Bomb ready and missiles ready on the side of Seaya, as we do see the Knot trying to take out this T-Tech. T-Tech now going to be going up for this Inkjet live. Inkjet versus Inkjet, but one of them is armored, one of them is not, and it looks like none of them are going to walk away with a splat. I always love seeing Inkjet versus Inkjet.
Yeah, neither of them walking away with a splat, but Seaya is going to end up one down overall, and Eli going down there as well. And now Shadow Squids is a 4v2 opportunity to continue their hold, approaching the KO and approaching lead with it. 15 ticks remain for them to take this W with 90 seconds left. Missiles are going to come online for both sides. Booyah Bomb for Seaya as well. They need to get a stall here, but the Booyah is going to miss zone, and with 3 ticks left, they're going to find a neutral. 1 minute is left on the clock, and Shadow Squids are 3 down. Seaya lives to see another minute of gameplay.
Oh my goodness, with the Booyah Bomb hitting the right stack instead of the zone, that had to have made Seaya more uncomfortable. But with the help of their teammates able to push in, they're able to get that cap. And hey, we've seen a team come back from a win with having under 5 remaining, and it's the same team now that's trying to do it. And they don't have a lot of penalty points they need to get through. So if Seaya can kind of keep this up, keep the pressure, lock out some of these Shadow Squid members, they will be able to take this lead and take the zone. But we do see some rain coming in. Ooh, it looks like one of the ancient landings was camped, but that's going to be a double. That's going to be a team wipe. This is looking very nice for Shadow Squids.
For a moment there, you thought Seaya was going to be able to hold on. The Inkjet went up, Eli looking for an opportunity, and they didn't come back down with a pick, and that's going to mean that they went down along with a trade on their side. 20 seconds is enough for them to get another push into mid, but they got to get down 40 penalty points on their hold. Missiles and armor are going to come online to start that push.
And this is going to be very hard for Seaya. They know they have to get these picks early so they can try and get this cap and get in a good position to lock out members of Shadow Squids. And it looks like it might work, but we have a 2v2. No, it's not going to work. So Shadow Squids going to be getting the win for game 1.
Shadow Squids putting points on the board against Seaya. That's something that's not been so easy to do so far. And after such a long wait, it's very common that you see the team from losers come out swinging. And they did, but Shadow Squids swung right back. You're going to see them here on the end screen out fragging Seaya for one, but ultimately holding on to that zone and forcing Seaya to counterpick for the first time in losers.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be different. They are able to kind of control what they want. Essentially, every other time they've always had to be more reactive rather than proactive as far as the maps and modes go. And they did a good job when they were reactive. So if they can find a map and mode that is best suited for them, best suited for what we see, they're very well coordinated specials. I mean, I like a Claim Blitz choice. I don't know about you, Brush, but they seem to do very well with Claim Blitz. So again, anything is possible. They are going to be choosing Claim Blitz. They're going to be choosing Claim Blitz on the Reef. This is going to be very nice because I feel like they can put themselves in these positions that it's going to be very hard for Shadow Squids to kind of pick off some of these Seaya members, especially like with the car there, with the hiding by the tree, and just all sorts of flanks that they can do.
Yeah, but what's the difference between Seaya versus Shadow Squids and Seaya versus everything else we've seen so far? It's that Shadow Squids is able to hold their ground. Seaya, in so many situations, has been able to steamroll through and just push, but Shadow Squids gave them a bit of a wall there. Maybe it's the E-leader, maybe it's the fact that they have a backline, but either way, Shadow Squids took that first game in Splat Zones where it's all about lockout and holding control. Seaya here could very easily get a push going and get a quick KO, but Shadow Squids could do the same.
Yeah, it's exactly. They know how this team plays. They've seen what they have been able to do, and if any team can do it, it's the team who has gotten a win off of them during Seaya's amazing run so far. And now Seaya, of course, hoping that they don't have any of the issues that they had before during this tournament regarding some of the player connection. But I think choosing Claim Blitz on the stage as Claim Blitz as game 2 is going to be something that they can look forward to try and make something happen. And it's what they did during the Macobar game, which is making that strong opening push to try and get some claims in. But let's get started with game 2, Shadow Squids versus Seaya.
Here we go. We're going to see the same exact comp coming out from Seaya. They know what they think works, and granted, it has been working often. It is Shadow Squids, though, changing it up, popping random, no longer on that charger, now on a V-Jet. That missile spam is going to be vital for them this set.
Yeah, I love the paint power that is coming from Shadow Squids. You have weapons that can just paint extremely well. 2 splatter shots, 1 junior, one V-Jet as well. And we do see kind of an early flank there from the Not player. But now they're able to try and push up and be a little more aggressive, but that's not, unfortunately, going to be working for Seaya as Shadow Squids, members of Shadow Squids, able to kind of lock them down and get a nice double. Will this be enough for them to try and form a power claim? Ooh, and Seaya able to jump out just in time for Shadow Squids to try and push forward. But a lot of blue paint, a lot of blue ink on this map already.
Fantasy has been pushing up and playing aggressive, denying Vimo that opportunity to shark on top mid, and with it, they've been putting Pink down, and that is vital if you're that frontline Slayer. The K-Shot just is such a great weapon for putting Paint down, and their missiles now online. They're looking for a push.
Yeah, and they absolutely have the room to do so with all this paint. But look, Seiya's now pushing in with their Inkjet, pushing in with more of their specials. These two power claims are going to need to split up to try and confuse some of these players and spread out these claims. Both of them are now on bridge where the Tenta missiles are, as now Seiya members they're trying to push forward. Shadow Squid's trying to back up just a little bit, and it looks like there's more green on the map right now, so this is looking better for Seaya. They are able to kind of prevent this dangerous push from Shadow Squids, but Shadow Squid's not really giving up quite yet. They're trying to have one member flank. It looks like the T-Tech is over by the basket already. Are they going to be jumping in by the basket? They are, both of them. 1, 2, 3. Is it going to be 4? That is our 3 power claims in, getting all the way down to 57 in the blink of an eye. A wonderful, wonderful push by Shadow Squids.
3 jumps in, and it's only Live there now who's able to hold on to the area, and they're going to go down in their Inkjet. That means a full delayed wipe in Sia's favor. When you're getting a push like this, what you don't want to happen is you don't want points in the board and then you all go down. That means that Seaya has an opportunity to push into mid and take area control where they might not have already. Vimo wanting to play cautious, not wanting to face the same fate, and they're going to not let that happen. Fantasy now going down as Seaya pushes back into mid and takes control of top mid.
You know, the crazy part about that push from Shadow Squids is that T-Tech was chased the whole time. So it wasn't really a sneaky push. It was like, hey, I'm by this basket. You better jump right now because I am about to get splatted, but we need to make this push. We need to get these power claims in. A wonderful push by Shadow Squids already, but Seaya trying to get a response of their own with a ton of claims. They have 19 to work with. It looks like Vima's going to be throwing a wall, throwing an empower claim. So this is going to be very nice because they have more claims that they can follow up with. A few members are going to be trying to flank up the side. Can they get some more claims in? They can, and 2 players down now for Shadow Squids, and they have the lead.
Luna looking for a pick there by the basket on the left side. They're not going to quite find it, or they are there, sorry, and Live's going to be the last one up by basket. Vimo sharking with the last clam there, wanting to try to stall basket as Eli comes in and goes down. Not looking for a pick quite yet as a ball jumps in. They're not quite in range to throw it, and they're going to barely miss there off of that jump. It's unfortunate of a play, but they are going to be able to keep their lead, and Luna staying alive off of that push is going to buy them time to stall mid.
That is right, and a really good lead there by Seaya. Again, now we're in a position where both teams, they know they need more than just a power clam if they want to try and extend their points further. They have to have these coordinated specials that they have been using. But look, we only have about 1 minute 15 seconds remaining, so it's going to be really hard for both of these teams because now you're balancing. Okay, we need to play good offense and good defense, but if you're Shadow Squids now, you need to play offense because there are 3 players down. As now the K-Gal is going to be backing out, and they are getting very close to this basket. Shadow Squids on the board. Once again, is this enough to take the lead? It is.
3 balls are gonna go in. These teams are loving to dunk those power clams, and 18 points are gonna remain as Fantasy walks in. Not clams to finish, but they're gonna get one of them taken out for the last clam can go in. A push to 9 is so solid on Clam. Let's see it now. Effectively needs to KO, and with a Buddha coming out early, that's gonna be difficult. They don't have the specials to sustain a push.
Seaya going to need to take advantage of all 30 seconds remaining to try and coordinate a push that will lead them to victory. Right now, they do have 14 clams at the ready, and they do have quite a bit of map control. And it looks like Vimo already throwing a wall by the basket to see if they can get this power clam formed. And it looks like they do have it formed. So they're going to be trying to take it up the wall. But no, look, the miss is there in the way. It is going to be hard to push forward. And now Vimo trying to push up this left side so the power clam can get there. But 2 players down. Will this work for Seaya? It's going to be really hard as Luna tries to get some more claims for them to get close. We will be seeing overtime as Seaya tries to get the lead.
Yeah, coming off of respawn, they have that 1 ball, but they only have about 30 seconds to get it dunked as the NZAP plays along that left side, maybe looking for a jump play. That missed, doing such a great job. You're gonna see Random throw another one there. That's gonna block this left tree completely from opening, but finding a nice angle in, and they're gonna be able to get the dunk. Overtime now started, basket open. Luna going down on that flank. It's just Eli on the right side, and they only have the 1 clam. They need to find these picks to get space. But Fantasy coming off of the side is gonna find Eli down, and Shadow Squids handily taking the first 2 matches. Seaya is not used to this aggression.
No, and I mean, it's got to be so hard for Seaya because in these last 30 seconds, we have to try and get something coordinated. But there comes a point when it's like, okay, we have to score right here, right now. I don't know what we have to follow up, but if we don't make it happen, then it's never going to happen. And look at the KA, look at K-Shot from Fantasy. 16 splats on their side. Wonderful plays by all members, but Shadow Squids, like you said, being up 2-0 at this point, you are putting Seaya in a position that they haven't really been in yet.
We've talked about Seaya. We've talked about Seaya planting the seed of doubt in that losers bracket. You know, they faced these teams, Absolute Zero, Germanic Alliance, who had beaten Seaya earlier this morning. Seaya takes game 1, and you're sitting there and you're going, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Seaya came in so strong to this set, and they're now sitting here. I don't know if I can do this anymore. Shadow Squids up 2-0. Seaya needs to reverse sweep 1 and then win another best of 5 to take the first place prize home. Shadow Squids is chilling.
Yeah, they are in a very, very good position because you know that they just need to get one more win in this set, and they want to avoid what Seaya's hoping happens, which is the reverse sweep, so Seaya can potentially stay alive. But this is looking very, very nice for Shadow Squids, as Seaya once again going to be making a counter pick to see what is up their sleeve. And I don't think Clan Blitz was the wrong choice. Like, they did very well. It's just that Shadow Squids, they had these pushes that were just so hard to counter against. So if you're Seaya, are you thinking tower control, Rainmaker? I don't know about splat zones because Macomart zones was not really what they were looking for. So I would love to know what they're going to be choosing for game 3.
Yeah, and I mean, look, they're allowed to go back to splat zones and clam blitz here, and we've seen teams do that before today. It's just such a risk when you got the punch to the face in that setting. Both of these teams are walking away today with money. The winning team will have $240 in their bank account. The second place, $120. But on some level, I mean, it's very easy to go, nah, they're both going to take money home. Who cares? But winning a tournament is a sense of pride. The winners of LSL hold that pride to their grave. Shadow Squids here is on the verge of being another one of those winners. They just have to come out swinging to whatever Seaya decides to pick.
Right, and I mean, especially a tournament as hyped as this one. This is the 20th edition of Little Squid League. This has been the tournament where most has been on the line. I mean, the largest prize pool for a Little Squid League tournament. They hope that they can claim that prize and be the winner because, like you said, kind of the bragging rights that goes apart with it. That's something that you want to have in your hands. That's something you want to show off. So Shadow Squid's looking to try and make this just an easy 3-0. We're done. We don't want a bracket reset, and see trying to get this reverse sweep to keep it alive. And from what we have seen prior, they can do it. You know, these games have been very close.
You know, we've seen Seaya's mascot, that alligator on the other screen. I'm curious to talk to Shadow Squids here and find out what we're looking at in their logo, because we kind of have this wholesome energy versus this little more scary stuff coming out from Shadow Squids. Maybe there's something poetic there.
Yeah, I mean, we see the inkling. You know, she's looking very happy, but obviously it's the story of there's always something behind you, ready to get you, and maybe that's what they're hoping happens against Seaya. But again, I love Seaya's Seaya's logo too. I mean, it's a very cute alligator. But yeah, I mean, I really appreciate the detail of both of these logos. I gotta say.
Y'all, I mean, Seaya's struggling with this counter pick. I mean, yeah, everything is on the line right here. You need to win this one if you're Seaya. And it's such a difficult decision, and they're gonna settle on tower control and Chovy Games while we flusteredly talk about logos. Seaya, here you go, tower control and Chovy Games.
Yeah, tower control. This is a mode that actually we haven't even seen anywhere in the losers finals or winners grands and grands. I mean, this is new for us. We're used to seeing so many zones and claim blitz, which actually claim blitz is something you don't really see often. But I'm interested to see how the backlines are used, because a lot of these comps that these teams have had, they have been very, I wouldn't say frontline heavy, but definitely shooter heavy. But you're going to rely more kind of on your jet squatcher, your chargers for this particular map and mode, and it's going to, I think, play out a little differently than anything we have seen before.
Yeah, interestingly, we've been talking about Shadow Squid's aggression, but they're the team with the backline. Like we backlines are falling out of favor time and time again. We see people complain over and over again about how a charger does not work in comp, and Shadow Squid's right now in their own little way proving that you can play fast, you can play aggressively, you can play coordinatedly with a backline, with someone sitting back as your anchor in that jump in spot. And Seaya is clearly struggling because Shadow Squid able to jump back in and keep their aggression up is not something they are used to.
Yeah, and this is one of those times where if you're Seaya, you really have to think about your comp, because you know you haven't changed much during your gameplay before, because you really didn't have to. But with this being the match that has everything on the line to move forward, you're going to have some things up your sleeve. But they're actually going with the same exact comp that they had before. Hey, I don't blame them, because I'm a creature of habit myself. So let's see if Shadow Squids can take home the victory for getting this win, or if Seaya can start the reverse sweep process.
Yeah, doubling down on their roster, and Shadow Squids proven that a backline here can work, coming out with that A-leader, something you don't see too often anymore. Missiles and armor are online for Seaya. They're looking for an opportunity, but no picks coming out just yet, and they're gonna get some passive special off the tower, but going down early to that suction bomb from Luctus. It is Shadow Squids getting the first push.
Yeah, Shadow Squid's now getting the first push. Ooh, and it looks like the push up from the K-shot onto the knot is going to be very good. That's going to allow the K-shot to push up even further and allow this tower to get to the checkpoint. Can Fantasy go off and get some of these picks? Look, Fantasy already pushed up this far, this early into the match. That's going to allow this checkpoint to get past it pretty quickly. I mean, the missiles are going to stall just a little bit. Ooh, and Shadow Squids, they're really aggressive with this inkjet as well. They are flying through this map.
Is the live set up in the top right? Fantasy here. We're watching them as they're in this third checkpoint, but live, that T-Tech is chilling in the side. Like, the pressure from this big wall is going to be a really big challenge. And if Locus can get past this checkpoint and down this area, live is already set up in the only defensive spot. Locus is going to go down on tower, but a 3v3 situation remains. Live's inkjet now coming online. They're the last one up, and the push is going to falter. Oh, and they're going to go down to the end zap on Seaya. Such a strong position from Live, something you don't get to see every set.
That is exactly what Seaya needed, and it couldn't have happened at a more important time, which was approaching that final checkpoint. Shadow Squids, they had such a great opening push, and we're flying through these checkpoints, and it's really nice that Seaya were able to get something up their sleeves and try and push forward, but now they're going to try and counter the exact same way, using the inkjet to try and push up, and you see one of the players already jumping out when they're not too far from their spawn, but it looks like Seaya having a little bit more power now, as they are being able to push forward, but this is exactly what happened to Shadow Squids. It's just now it's happening to Seaya, and we have the Knot who's already up there too. One of the members is trying to flank. It looks like it's going to be the K-Shot who's now at mid. I don't know if they made it down there already, but one of their players now trying to keep that fan alive and trying to push up. But now Seaya trying to push this tower once again, and they're doing a really good job keeping this aggression up.
Live looking for an opportunity with this inkjet. They're not going to quite find it, and they're going to go down themselves. That leaves a 3v2 situation in favor of Shadow Squids as respawns come out for Seaya. Another one going down. That's Vimo X. Now it's just Luna and Eli alive on this plat, looking for an opportunity. Eli is forced to back up, narrowly avoiding that charger shot from Shadow Squids, and their push is going to slow down here. Not able to drop that second checkpoint. Shadow Squids alive and winning in this 2-minute remaining game.
Yeah, if you're Shadow Squids, you can give up a little bit of space because you made such a strong opening push. So Seaya gets their tower past the first checkpoint, that's fine. And that's exactly what they did. They gave them a little bit of space, but were able to stop them before they got to the second checkpoint. If Shadow Squids can hold on one checkpoint at a time, this is going to be a victory for them because they put themselves in a very good situation with under 2 minutes remaining to just kind of control their area. As long as they control their side of the map, they don't necessarily need to have control of mid. It would absolutely help, but they're now in a very good spot to try and hold on to this victory.
Yeah, coming out early for Seaya, along with an ancient armor. That's all 4 specials for them now popped as random narrowly survives missiles on a jump out. That leaves a 4v2 situation in Seaya's favor. This first checkpoint has fallen, so they're gonna blast through it here and look to take control of the second. But with 1 down, it's gonna be hard. We're gonna see Luna taking the top right as well. That's such a strong spot to be in, something you don't get to always see, but they're going to go down, and that's how you have to approach that from Shadows, because you have to get rid of the player up there. And Eli's ancient now just gonna terrorize this big wall, but not gonna find a pick quite yet.
Yeah, and now Seaya back on the tower trying to push this forward. It's going to be hard with the rain. They are going to be using the Boo Bomb to try and clear some of the area. They are on the tower. They are past that checkpoint now. Will it be enough for them to take the lead? It is. Seaya has the lead for the first time in this game with just the E-Leader alive. They need to get around this tower, but the E-Leader is going to pick. Oh my goodness, that is absolutely crucial. But now Seaya back on the tower. Can they get past this checkpoint? No. So close. One more jumping in. They are now past the checkpoint as they try and get players to jump in at this tower one at a time. Who is going to win all these 1v1s? They're doing everything they possibly can. Still jumping in on this tower. Okay, I think that's it.
You get a full wipe, but you're stalling it for 15 seconds. Now Shadow Squids doesn't have a little bit of time plus overtime. They have overtime. The tower is going to get back into mid here, but Shadow Squids need to kill another checkpoint and keep moving. Their missiles are going to come online, but it's such a difficult challenge for Shadow Squids. They're in an uphill battle for the first time this set.
And that was absolutely crucial, like for what Seaya did. But yeah, Shadow Squids now trying to push forward. They are being very aggressive at this moment. What's nice is they don't have many checkpoints they have to get through. They're going to be trying to push up one by one, finding where all of these Seaya players are. As one is going to drop from the top, but they are going to be quickly spotted. But look where the knot is. Look where Eli is up on top, and that's going to be 3 players down. That is going to be a wipe, and Seaya is going to get their first win of this set.
You watch that first push. You watch the tower get to that 3rd checkpoint, and you write it off. You say Shadow Squids has won this tournament, but Sea's they ripped that seeded doubt out of their minds. They said, "Nuh-uh, we are the ones who are gonna get through that 3rd checkpoint, nearly KO, jump to that tower, stall for time, and get a point on the board." They are in this tournament, no doubt. Shadow Squids now are the ones to counterpick, so Seaya has to win on 2 maps they don't get to pick if they want to get a bracket reset and look at winning the tournament.
That stall, and like you said, with the timing that the stall happened with under a minute left, every second counts at that moment because the tower is pushed so far back in the enemy's territory. If you can just continue to feed these players, and this is like the one time that like feeding is good in this game, right? When you're pushing the objective to try and stall the time, and that they did such a good job with that, and it just made it that much harder for Shadow Squid. So Seaya again making some incredible plays to keep it alive, but it looks like Shadow Squid's counterpick is going to be Rainmaker, Sturgeon Shipyard. How do you feel about this pick, Brush?
Well, their options were Rainmaker or Tower Control, right? I mean, they won on Splat Zones in that game 1. They won on Clan Blitz against their counterpick on game 2. It's so hard. The question is, do you go to the mode you just lost on, or are you going to try something new? And you never ever want to be there and going, well, I guess we have to pick Rainmaker. Because unless you're getting that KO, you are going to be panicking the whole game. You can't let them at any point pick up Maker and get strides moving, because it's so easy to turn around, flick that switch, and hold forward in Rainmaker, especially on Sturgeon Shipyard, a map where that top left, you can just, if you get set up there, you're moving.
And now let's see if Seaya can keep this momentum up to get this win. This is the first time that Rainmaker is going to be coming out on this set, and that's going to be a very early pop for Shadow Squids as they're trying to set the tone. Hey, we want control of mid, and now members of Seaya trying to really stay alive at this point as they're losing a little bit more ground. As one of their players goes down, it's going to be the K-Gal who's going to go down pretty early, and they're able to get a pick of their own as well. And 3 players going to be down now on Shadow Squids, so they're doing doing a good job staying alive, and the Charger getting a nice double, keeping this alive for Shadow Squids on this opening push.
Random with a piercing double is going to lead them into a wipe. That's going to give them a huge player and space advantage as their teammates jump in here. Random, the MVP right now, finding another pick on Luna. Not wanting another resist. That's another Rainbow X is down. A 4v2 situation as Shadow Squids picks up the Rainbows. It is Loctos carrying as they move top left. Not getting called out there by the Enzap on the side of Seaya. That's going to stall it, but Array has now come out and they're forced to scramble. Nearly surviving that push is by that Enzap, stalling that Rainmaker. But oh my gosh, Shadow Squids with a moment of genius, getting 4 picks back to back from that scoped splatter shot. Scoped scope.
You know, they had 6 picks in under a minute, I think, with that opening, able to stay alive. Unfortunate for Shadow Squids, it was kind of a missed opportunity because they had the support of the Ray ready when they were going to be taking it up that left side, and it didn't work out. Getting to 70, I mean, like, that's obviously not a push that you want to rely on, but you're able to keep it alive. Ooh, and now the Enzap's going to be in a very tricky situation, but this is looking good for Shadow Squids as they now have the player advantage, looking to potentially take it up this left side as well to kind of extend their lead perhaps, but it looks like members from Seaya are waiting, and with the help of the Ancient, one down, and it looks like they have the Rainmaker with some missiles coming in too. This might be a good push, but they don't have much support right now.
Random, the only one, and they're forced to carry Rainmaker. They're going to find a nice pick on Luna there, and that's going to give them an opportunity. Eli now forced along the left side. They're forced to bop that Inkshot to stay alive. Armor is going to come online, and that's a beautiful pairing. But the Rainmaker, some beautiful lob shots up against that wrong from Random, and that's going to mean Eli goes down. It's just the Enzap in that snipe area, and they're going to look to call the Rainmaker off guard. But Loctos, there he is there to call him out for it and rotate left. Now it's Random solo pushing this Rainmaker. They're going to go for the jump just for a couple extra points. That's going to get them all the way down to 36, but they can continue the push here momentarily.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, another missed opportunity for Shadow Squids because a lot of the Seaya members were pushed over towards that right side. But again, getting that jump all the way to 36 is going to be nice to kind of keep that, because you know Seaya can't do the same if they want to take the lead. They're only going to get to 37 if they do that exact same thing. So Shadow Squids having a lead that they can work with and prevent and kind of just protect that left side. But they're going to need to try and maintain some of this map control before they do so.
All shots are down on this map as Shadow Squids are in a player disadvantage. That's going to mean Loctos has to back up here and play the right side safely, but they're going to find a beautiful pick on Luna with that bomb, I think on the super jump. So a well-placed bomb there from Loctos is going to give them a player advantage as armor comes online. Booyah from Seaya. That's going to take some space away. Now they're the only one fighting on this right side as some action happens on the left. Missiles are online, and look at that. Eli pushing across that snipe area, looking for an opportunity to call the Charger off guard, but it's not going to happen, and it's another dogfight in mid, quite like we saw at the beginning.
And this is what you need to do if you're Shadow Squids. I mean, you just kind of need to hold Seaya and not let them really push forward. The Rainmaker can stay at mid the entire time as long as they don't pick it up and you kind of have control. But Seaya doing a good job now getting some map control. Will they finally pick up the Rainmaker? Not quite yet. It looks like they're going to be pushing forward just a little bit more to maybe clear a path and prepare themselves for a push on the right side as they try and get a few more of these players. But they definitely have control of mid. They are going to be picking up the Rainmaker for the first time, and now they are going to be pushing it to the right side with one player down. But we do have the Ray ready on the side of Shadow Squids. They're not able to take the lead, getting all the way to 66. Tried to help with the Booyah Bomb, but there are 3 players down now on Shadow Squids.
40 seconds remaining, and Shadow Squids needs to get a respawn and get another push. Or, sorry, Seaya needs to push up here, quickly, as I forget which team is which. They're going to struggle to find opportunity. A 4v3 situation in their favor. Luna with the Rainmaker getting called out by the Charger, but has the space to move around, and they're going to be able to find the lead here up the left side. 28 picks remaining, and a 3v2 situation. Shadow Squids getting the pop here, but they have to push into overtime for this win.
Seaya doing everything they possibly can to get the lead, and they were able to do so. Just dive forward, get to that 28 mark, and make Shadow Squids work for this win as they are now going to be approaching overtime. They know that this has to be the push where they take the lead, but it didn't happen. With Seaya able to push up and get that splat, we are moving on to a Game 5 in Grand Finals.
Sia's NZAP single-handedly stopped every single push from Shadow Squids. I mean, the one time Shadow Squids jumped the Rainmaker off the edge there for the lead, that was the only time they were the one getting the spot, and that's reflected in the KA. 10 picks from the NZAP on Seaya, and 6 armors, and that's gonna win a game. A 2-2 set, as you said. Seaya's moving to a game 5. They have to win once again on a counter pick that is not yours, and Shadow Squids is forced to Rainmaker or Tower. Or sorry, we've gotten all 4 modes, so they can pick anything they want now, and that is vital for them. They can go back to Splatoon or Clan Blitz, a mode and a map where they have won in the past.
Yeah, and if you're Shadow Squids, you might have to just rely on that. And it looks like they're actually gonna do tower control Manta Maria. I think with the help of your Charger in that last game, you kind of know, all right, we need to get you in a position so we can kind of push this tower in a very good spot. So Shadow Squids looking to get this win if they want to avoid the bracket reset. Coming in from the losers finals and hoping they can get this win to force the bracket reset. So again, this is very, very crucial for both of these teams, as of course a game 5 is, but Shadow Squids they want to avoid the reverse sweep because they anticipated this set not taking very long, going up 2-0, but now they're in this game 5. We're like, hey, if we lose this, we got to do potentially 5 more games.
We've talked about Seed of Doubt, and Seaya is the one with the upper hand now. It is Shadow Squids who feel it slipping, and with this game, if Seaya can take it, they are looking at a bracket reset and another best-of-5 set. These teams are tired. They've been here all day for 2 days, and Seaya suddenly has woken up and decided to play and win. And now both armors get popped in as openers, Shadow Squids need to find a push.
They certainly do, and it looks like Shadow Squid's already being aggressive and pushing up towards Seaya's side and already getting kind of an early flank, seeing who's alive up there. They are going to climb on the tower now as they're trying to push forward and using a good job with their specials, trying to push forward. The Inkjet is pushed up pretty far, trying to take down this Booyah Bomb. Unfortunately, not able to do so, but Tower quickly getting to this first checkpoint as they seem pretty uncontested, but Random trying to stay alive, able to pop off the tower right as it gets past that first checkpoint. So sometimes those little points are exactly what you need early on.
Those little points, exactly. I mean, you can get down the first check, and suddenly the next time you get some picks, you're steamrolling through. Random now looking for an opportunity on the left side. They are forced to jump out, and it's just going to be a dogfight in mid as picks start to fly. Seaya ends up 2 down though. As the Booyah comes out, that's going to get punished though by Live. Vimo going down in a 3v1 situation. Shadow Squids continue their relentless push here. They're going to get past this first checkpoint as the NZAP decides to shark on the right side.
They are going to try and see where they can push up to, as members of Seaya trying to retreat just a little bit, put themselves in a position to potentially get a flank. But Shadow Squid's making quick work as they have a few players go down, and one of the members is an Inkjet, so the tower's not going to be moving anymore, as they are now going to be landing and trying to hop back on this tower momentarily, but are going to be splatted. So maybe not the push that they were hoping for, but again, able to get to that second checkpoint is going to be very nice. But Seaya making quick work of getting some more picks and taking control of mid, but not before Random able to take them out with their deadly E leader.
Live had such a strong position off of that Inkjet, holding the top left as your entire opponent team is stuck in the street. If you could have gotten some jumps in there, you might have been able to push here, but instead, we're going to see the tower move into the favor of Seaya. They're going to end up 2 down here off of this push, and it's not going to be what they want. They're going, and that flank going to get called out and canceled by Fantasy there. Shadow Squids is going to continue their attack and continue holding advantage, but they need to hold these hotspots. They need to get control of top left, and they need to hold it.
You know, every time Seaya tries to make a push, it just doesn't seem to be working out for them. Shadow Squids are the team that's able to kind of push forward and get control of this tower, but there's a pretty good response there by Seaya. And again, if you're Shadow Squids, you have the lead. You have a lead by a checkpoint. You can kind of play this mid game and try to get your 1v1s for the next 2 minutes. That's a very viable strategy to win this game. But with the aggression of Seaya and how well they've been doing recently, it's going to be very hard, especially with the player advantage that Seaya has right now.
Question absolutely is they find 2 picks of their own. That's going to leave a 3v3 situation on the field as respawns start to come out. Luna, right in this tower, is going to solo missile the Booyah Bomber on top, or sorry, going to solo missile top left as their NZEP goes down. Look at how Shadow Squids is able to control that hotspot there, as now the rest of their team is going to rotate to the right. That leaves Luna kind of surrounded here from both sides, and they're going to ultimately go down to Random on that E-leader. A strong position there, and that's going to win them that fight. A 3v1 situation as the NZEP comes off of respawn.
Yeah, that 3v1, very nice as Seaya was approaching that second checkpoint with just the NZAP who was alive, who had to retreat. And that's going to be really good for Shadow Squids because of how much time is remaining. Just a minute 30, a little under a minute 30. And Seaya still not giving up some hope, obviously, not yet. And Shadow Squids able to take control of mid for now, but 2 specials ready on the side of Seaya. So once again, they're trying to find a way that they can break in here, but it's going to be really hard with how well these Shadow Squid players are playing.
These last 2 games for Seaya have been won in the last minute. I mean, the pushes have come down to the wire, and that's what that's what Seaya wants to see once again. As jumps start to come in and this dogfight continues, Seaya needs to find an opportunity, and they can. We've seen them do it, but the picks are not coming out yet. A 4v4 situation is on the field as Eli moves off of respawn. They're gonna move to the right side here, looking for an opportunity, and it's not gonna quite come yet. They're forced around by Random's Charger. They need to get rid of that aggression if they want a chance. Missiles are going to come online for them along with the armor, but one's going to go down there to Random's Charger, and with 30 seconds remaining, life is not looking great. A 4v2 situation as 20 seconds remain, and Eli getting called out by Live, and it's just Vimo off of respawn.
You know, it's so tricky. Even though we have a 1v1, we know the E-Leader is well prepared to catch any direction where these players are coming from. And now Random going to put themselves in a position to just guard this tower. If any Seaya members hop on, they're going to be trying to get it. But Shadow Squids, this looks very promising for them. Seaya now on the tower. How far can they push it? 2 players down on Shadow Squids. This is going to be their push.
Random looking for an opportunity to push, but the Beyond's going to displace them. That is huge for Seaya as they now get this checkpoint. Looking at the second checkpoint, you need tower. Looking at the second checkpoint, they need to stop it now as the tower stops at 457 and Shadow Squids hops on in the nick of time. We were bracing for a big push, but Shadow Squids takes the W in overtime, a brick wall to Seaya, and becomes your LSL 20 champion.
Shadow Squids getting the win, avoiding the reverse sweep. They went up 2-0 at first, gave Seaya the next 2 games, able to save this final game, avoiding the bracket reset. A fantastic job to both teams, especially Shadow Squids, and like you said, for winning LSL 20.
It's against the projections. We had 1,300 points come out in favor of Seaya, and Shadow Squids coming out from the shadows, a team we haven't seen on stream, and wins those first 2 games dominantly. That last one by maybe a smaller margin, but a win nonetheless. And look, it doesn't matter how many points you win or lose by. Shadow Squids is walking home with $240.
That's right, and Seaya coming in second place. They're not going home empty-handed. They are walking away with $120. Again, this is a very important tournament for these players. LSL 20 being one of the biggest with their biggest prize pool for this tournament series so far. So congratulations once again to both teams. What an exciting set that we've had, and what an exciting 3 sets that both you and I have been able to broadcast.
Absolutely, a big weekend for Splatoon 2 competitive. 20xx, a big major, even you could say, with a $400 prize pool. Little Squid League 20 here with $500 in the pool, and Dual Ink tonight with $100. Go register if you can. There's still plenty of time to sign up and play. And for that $100 prize, you and a buddy, that's all you need. Falco, you got anything else you wanna say here before we wrap this up?
Well, hey, I mean, Brush, this has been absolutely incredible, and I mean, an honor to be on the mic with you for LSL 20. We've seen such fantastic sets all throughout today. So thank you again to everybody who's been working on the stream for LSL. As you can see, we have all of our plugs here. None of this could be done without Jub. I definitely want to point out Jub there at the top. The stream, if you like the LSL stream, then you like Jub, because Jub does a fantastic job with all of this. And thank you again to all of our commentators who were on the mic earlier today and yesterday as well.
Alrighty. So from everyone here at Little Squid League, I am Brushstrokes. Join me on the mic is Falco Flyer, Jub, our wonderful stream producer and video producer, our TOs and our staff. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. We will see you next month for Little Squid League 21.